woman inside into a daze. Shui Er stood frozen, her expression one of shock as she beheld the wreckage of her once intact cart. The unexpected scene left the livestream audience equally stunned. After a brief silence, the comments exploded. What a scare. What on earth is happening? Is this an assassination attempt? Have foreign forces finally targeted Lin Shen? That's ruthless. They totaled Shui Er's cart. I think I heard her shout something about wanting Lin Shen to return her husband. Could this be revenge? I heard that too. But given how many have been sent away by Lin Shen, who is this woman's relative? First it was Lu Qing, and now this crazed woman. Are all the families of those imprisoned coming after Lin Shen? Shui Er looked so helpless. Lin Shen was too busy protecting the others to shield her. Stop the blame. Shui Er was in the safest position. If Lin Shen hadn't acted, the others would have been in serious danger. Someone call the authorities. Lin Shen focused intently on the sedan, speculating about the woman's identity. Just then, Li Xiao's voice broke through his thoughts, filled with indignation. Could you let us down now? Glancing down, Lin Shen realized that in his haste, he had awkwardly positioned himself. He had wrapped his arms around the two women, securing them beneath their arms, lifting them off the ground. It was no wonder Li Xiao felt cumbersome. While Yi Xiaoxi appeared slightly flushed, her eyes sparkling. Flushing with embarrassment, Lin Shen discreetly set them down, feigning nonchalance as he approached the vehicle. Reaching the driver's side, he yanked the door open and pulled the woman out several meters, laying her on the grass by the roadside. The livestream camera followed suit, capturing the scene. The woman, though not unappealing, bore signs of cosmetic surgery. The airbag had disfigured her nose, causing it to bleed profusely. As Lin Shen dialed Li Yuan's number, he inquired, "Sister, who are you? What grievance do we share that necessitates this?" The woman glared at Lin Shen, her face a mask of resentment, yet she remained silent. Suddenly, she pulled a small knife from her pocket and lunged at Lin Shen's leg. Lin Shen raised an eyebrow and swiftly kicked the knife from her hand. "Shui, fetch some rope," he instructed. At that moment, some viewers in the live stream recognized her. The chat erupted in excitement. What the heck? Isn't that Zue Yunlong's wife? She used to be a popular streamer. What was her name again? After marrying Zue Yunlong, she disappeared from the scene. I know her. Her online name was Bing Guoli. She was one of the earlier internet celebrities affiliated with Zue Yunlong's guild. After the scandal about the top-tier brothers' sudden rise, she faded from streaming. I just saw the news yesterday, saying Zue Yunlong's gang was sentenced. Zue Yunlong received the death penalty and lost all his assets. This woman lost her husband and her fortune. No wonder she is desperate to confront Lin Shen. Zue Yunlong got what he deserved. But can we really blame Lin Shen for this? If she attempted murder, she is looking at least 10 years. The risks Lin Shen faces in this live stream are alarming. Wang Chun attempted to stab him once. Lu Qing tried once too, and now with Bing Guoli. It's like he is either being attacked or on the brink of it. What can he do? Lin Shen has offended too many people. Countless individuals are eager to see him perish. Countless viewers expressed their astonishment. Soon, many began sending gifts to Lin Shen, accompanied by messages like "treasure the moment," giving the impression that Lin Shen might meet his demise at any moment. Lin Shen glanced at the chat, quickly understanding the situation. Li Yuan connected immediately, stating he would come right over. Clearly, he had been monitoring the live stream and was aware of the unfolding events. Putting away his spare phone, Lin Shen took the rope and bound Bing Guoli's hands and feet. He had little patience for someone driven to extremes. Impulsiveness is a devil. The law would teach her the consequences in due time. He turned to the shaken Shui and asked, "Are you all right?" Shui, still a bit pale, shook her head. Her gaze fell on the mangled cart, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. The cart is broken. To her, the cart was more than just a means of transport. It symbolized a companion weathering storms together, imbued with deep emotions. Lin Shen understood her feelings and reassured her, "It's just a cart. What matters is that we're safe. Let us tidy up and switch to backpacks. It'll be just as effective." Shui nodded. Li Xiao and Yi Xiaoxi approached, embracing Shui and whispering words of comfort. They began gathering the scattered belongings. Among them was a terrified Lai Fu, trembling beneath a heavy object. Having urinated in fright upon seeing everyone approach, barking frantically with his tail tucked in. During this time, passing vehicles slowed down to gawk, with some poking their heads out to ask if assistance was needed. A few recognized Lin Shen and excitedly got out of their cars to help pick up the items, even requesting photos. Moments later, after the group had collected everything, 5 personnel from the National Security Bureau, along with 2 stationed officers from the nearby village, arrived on the scene. They took brief statements and gathered evidence before escorting Bing Guoli into their vehicle. After a while, a tow truck arrived to haul away the damaged sedan and the wrecked cart. Li Yuan pulled Lin Shen aside, expressing his regrets. "Lin Si, I sincerely apologize. This was a lapse in our duties. Lin Shen waved it off, indicating he held no grudge against them. This incident couldn't be entirely blamed on the National Security Bureau, as they couldn't possibly keep constant watch over every individual they had processed. What was meant to happen would happen. However, he believed that with these recent events as a lesson, the Bureau would be more vigilant in the future to prevent similar occurrences. As Li Yuan and his team departed, Lin Shun and the others walked a short distance to the inn they had intended to check into. Outside the inn stood several people, including the owner and some guests, all gathered to witness the commotion. Upon recognizing Lin Shun, some immediately requested photos. Learning that Lin Shun and his companions were there to stay, the innkeeper warmly welcomed them into the lobby. At the front desk, the innkeeper glanced over Li Ziao and the others, giving Lin Shun a knowing look. He then displayed a somewhat awkward expression. I must apologize. You've arrived a bit late. There's only one standard room left. How do you wish to proceed? Upon hearing this, Li Ziao and the others gasped, their cheeks flushing with embarrassment, some feeling shy, while all turned their attention to Lin Shun. Lin Shun looked at the innkeeper with a bemused expression, silently wishing to convey, brother, you're overthinking this. There's no need for such assumptions. Meanwhile, the live chat exploded. Wow. Finally, we're at an exciting part. Ha ha ha. I knew it would come to this one day. I've been waiting. This innkeeper is too perceptive. There's no way there's really only one room left. How will 4 people fit in a standard room with 2 beds? Isn't it obvious? 2 beds pushed together. They can sleep however they like. Ah, Lin Shun, be gentle if you dare to act up. Oh no. I'm familiar with this scenario. Sister San's sisterhood breaks free from their idol personas for Lin Shen's ultimate awakening. Good luck to the person above. I have a friend. Lin Shen's eyebrows twitched as he read the chat. These viewers thrived on drama. He immediately asked the innkeeper, are you certain there are no other rooms available? The innkeeper hesitated, studying Lin Shun's expression. Before he could respond, Yi Xiaoxi interjected, one room is fine. When traveling, we shouldn't be too picky. Those hostels with 8 or 10 people sharing still have guests, don't they? She then turned to Li Ziao and Schwerer. What do you think? Li Ziao and Schwerer exchanged glances, both appearing slightly uncomfortable. Li Ziao whispered, that's acceptable. After what just happened, I actually feel safer with everyone together. Schwerer, still shaken, added, staying together is better. Otherwise, I won't be able to sleep at all. They all looked at Lin Shen. Seeing their unanimous agreement, Lin Shen sighed. All right then, I'll just sleep on the floor with my sleeping bag. The innkeeper promptly smiled and prepared the room key for them. Several male guests remaining in the lobby cast reverent looks at Lin Shen. The live stream was in an uproar. It's over. Sister, she is determined. Lin Shen will become Lin Jia tonight, with nothing left. This is too extravagant. I wouldn't dare dream of such a scenario. Who can withstand this? Ah, I wish I could stay in the same room as those ladies. Lin Shen must live stream all night. Otherwise, he'll never explain. No wonder he's revered. When he collects everything. If Desong were here, he could lock Lin Shen up with a silver bracelet, making it impossible for him to act out. The person above is too naive. If he really gets locked up, he won't have any chance to resist. He'll just have to endure the pressure. The 4 ascended to the 2nd floor and entered the room. It was relatively spacious, with 2 new beds, each measuring 1.2 meters. After setting down their belongings, Li Ziao suddenly blushed. I need to use the restroom. Lin Shun, feeling helpless, immediately instructed Xiao Ji to mute the live stream. The chat erupted in protests, many clamoring for the sound to be turned back on for the carnival. Lin Shun scoffed, dismissing their pleas entirely. Listening to the sounds emanating from the bathroom, while feeling a heavy heart, I lament the multitude of perverts in the world today. Casually, I cast a glance toward the bathroom. To my astonishment, it features half-transparent frosted glass. If someone were to shower, every skin tone and contour would be visible. After enduring the wait for several women to use the restroom, Yi Xiaoxi suggested that she needed to take a shower after sweating profusely. Lin Shun could barely contain himself. Suspecting that Yi Xiaoxi had noticed the frosted glass and intended to stir up trouble, he promptly unmuted himself and addressed the live stream. Dear viewers, the ladies are going to shower, so we will broadcast from downstairs for a while. Ignoring the protests from the audience, he exited the room with the live streaming phone in hand. Yi Xiaoxi couldn't help but smirk. Schwerer whispered, Sister Shi, are we really making him sleep on the floor tonight? Yi Xiaoxi raised her crimson lips and replied, if you feel sorry for him, you and Xiao can share a bed, and I'll sleep with him. Schwerer's eyes widened in shock, her pupils dilating. Li Xiao's expression turned furious as she spat. Shameless. Yi Xiaoxi remained unfazed, teasingly looking at Li Xiao. How about switching? You can sleep with him tonight. I promise not to compete with you. Li Xiao's cheeks flushed crimson, leaving her momentarily speechless. Yi Xiaoxi chuckled softly as she carried her change of clothes into the bathroom. In less than 2 minutes, a sudden gasp was heard. Ah? What a huge handprint. In the lobby on the first floor, Lin Shen repeatedly confirmed with the innkeeper whether there were any rooms available. The innkeeper glanced at the live streaming phone and solemnly declared that there were indeed none left. That was truly the last room. Just then, a couple of tourists walked in and asked, "Boss, do you have any rooms?" The innkeeper immediately responded with a smile, "Yes. Would you like a standard room or a double bedroom?" Lin Shen felt as though his intelligence was being rubbed into the ground by the innkeeper. The audience in the live stream was thoroughly entertained. Defeated, Lin Shen sat down on a sofa in the lobby and earnestly stated, "Dear viewers, do not mistake this for a good thing. Whether male or female, when out in the world, one must learn to protect oneself. I feel that tonight may be somewhat dangerous, so I have decided to live stream all night. While I sleep, please remember to keep the protective messages on screen. If any emergency arises, do not hesitate to alert the local authorities." Upon uttering these words, the chat erupted. Whoa, what is Lin Shen up to now? Seriously, he is passing up a prime opportunity. Does he really intend to remain alone forever? Those upstairs don't understand. To Lin Shen, women are insignificant. Live streaming is his life. If his persona collapses, what good are women? Haha. To be honest, I admire Lin Shen's facade. He clearly desires it, but dares not act. Lin Shen is still too naive. I once had a similar chance, and when she perched on my lap, I was so intent on saving myself for my future wife that I restrained myself. I was also quite innocent back then. As soon as I approached, she coyly said no, and I genuinely believed her, regretting it immediately. Lin Shen looked at the barrage of comments, bemused. At that moment, a notification for a connection request appeared on the screen. King of Boxing Tice has sent you a connection request. As soon as this notification appeared, the chat exploded. Whoa. Tice. This guy claims to challenge Tang's martial arts masters, but he's clearly targeting Lin Shen. Lin Shen, don't accept. Tice clearly has ulterior motives and will use words to provoke you. Exactly. If you refuse, you'll be put in a tight spot and have to fight. Lin Shen can kick an SUV. What does he have to fear? Can Tice's head withstand a kick from Lin Shen? Just do it. It's a chance to showcase our Tang prowess. Seeing the connection request, Lin Shen couldn't help but let out a cold chuckle, just as some comments suggested. Tice was indeed coming for him. After all, he had only just heard about Ranjun's injury earlier in the day and was now eager to connect with him. As for whether to accept the request, there was little to deliberate. They had come right to his doorstep. If he refused, it would lead many to believe that Lin Shen was cowardly. With a calm smile, he stated, "Everyone, don't be anxious. After all, he is an international guest. Since he has gone through the trouble to connect, it would be discourteous not to accept. Let us see what he has to say." With that, he reached out and clicked to accept. The live stream interface switched instantly. On the right side of the screen appeared a burly white man with a distinctive goatee. The world middleweight kickboxing champion, Tice. From the surroundings, it was evident that Tice was currently in a business vehicle, accompanied by a man from Tang. Tice held the camera and began speaking in a rapid-fire manner in his native tongue. The Tang man immediately interjected, "Hello, Mr. Lin. I am Mr. Tice's translator. Mr. Tice just mentioned that he heard your name from Ranjun and has watched some of your videos. He believes you are the Tang martial arts master he has longed to challenge. Thus, after his match with Ranjun, he immediately chartered a flight to Dingkong and took a helicopter, intending to seek you out for a friendly spar. Unfortunately, we encountered air traffic control while passing through Badong County. However, rest assured, we will reach you in about an hour." Air traffic control. Upon hearing this, Lin Shen mused inwardly. Could it be the Ingwa division's doing? With a smile that was neither here nor there, he replied, "From start to finish. You haven't communicated with me at all, and now you're only informing me just before our meeting? Isn't that a bit unreasonable? From your tone, it seems this match is unavoidable, regardless of my consent." The Tang man promptly translated Lin Shen's words to Tice. Tice then spoke again, although Lin Shen understood the language. He waited for the translator to relay it to the audience. Mr. Tice stated that he has never believed in the existence of Tang martial arts. He initiated this challenge tour to prove this point. If Mr. Lin agrees with his perspective, he will not insist and will immediately seek the next challenger. After a pause, he continued, Mr. Tice also remarked that Tang individuals possess a bad habit of being overly concerned with their own reputation when faced with challenges, and he hopes that Mr. Lin is not one of those people. Upon hearing this, Lin Shen's smile turned somewhat frosty. It seemed this foreigner had quite the silver tongue. An hour, you say? Believe it or not, in 10 minutes, I could make you regret ever showing up. Meanwhile, The livestream chat erupted once more. I swear, Tice can go to hell. I knew it. Tice's sudden connection was nothing good. Forcing a challenge is utterly disgusting. Tice is so scheming. This rhetoric must have been premeditated. Forcing Lin Shun into a corner. Now he has to fight. However, if it comes to blows, I believe Lin Shun will emerge victorious. Lin Shun, don't hold back. Just take him down. Numerous fans of Tice also flooded into Lin Shen's stream, hurling various sarcastic remarks. Lin Shen, just stop pretending. Those previous performances must have been props and actors, right? You're facing a real challenge now. If you're afraid to accept, just admit it. Even if Tang martial arts exists, it pales in comparison to the all-encompassing art of free fighting. Although I wish to believe in the martial prowess of Tanghua. One glance at Ran Zhun reveals the truth. Despite all the prior bravado, he fell within a single round. Surrender now. It is preferable to being rendered a vegetable by Tyson. The fans on both sides erupted into a cacophony of heated exchanges. At that moment, an unexpected event transpired. The business vehicle carrying Tyson suddenly screeched to a halt, causing both Tyson and the man from Tanghua to lurch forward violently, as the live stream camera shook dramatically. Before Tyson could utter a word, the translator from Tanghua erupted in fury. Driver, how could you drive like that? If Mr. Tyson gets injured, you won't be able to compensate for it even if you bankrupt yourself. Upon hearing this, the audience in Lin Shen's live stream began to hurl insults, unleashing a torrent of harsh words. While some acknowledged that it was merely for monetary gain and serving as Tyson's translator wasn't inherently wrong, they deemed his actions excessively servile, akin to a subservient dog, thus bringing shame to the people of Tanghua. In response, the driver slammed the steering wheel in frustration, retorting, "What do you expect me to do when someone suddenly blocks the road? If you keep complaining, I'm out of this ride. Find another taxi." The translator's expression darkened immediately. His gaze shifted through the windshield to the obstruction ahead, and he froze. Luo Xian? Tyson also caught sight of the figure in front of the car, his eyes shining with recognition. He swiftly adjusted the camera to focus on the scene ahead. The moment Luo Xian's stunningly ethereal visage appeared on the live stream, the chat erupted into chaos. What the hell? Goddess Luo? How is this possible? Why is Goddess Luo here? No way. Could Goddess Luo have been swayed by Lin Shun's words to face Tyson? The truth is out. A 30-year-old man is teary-eyed, feeling for Goddess Luo. Her devotion to Lin Shun is genuine, stepping in front of him at a critical moment. Wow, Goddess Luo is truly remarkable. Despite the chaos, she acts decisively. Lin Shun, if you don't give her a proper title, I will definitely unfollow. Unfollow if no title. What the hell? Why is Lin Shun smiling? Just be a decent person. Seeing Goddess Luo shield you from punches, is that something to be happy about? Countless viewers were both shocked and sympathetic towards Luo Xian, feeling it was unjust. In their eyes, she had sacrificed too much for Lin Shun. Some couldn't help but wipe tears with their phones, lamenting Lin Shun's true nature as a scoundrel. Chapter 385, A Stunning Blow. The might of Goddess Luo Lin Shun indeed smiled. Upon seeing Luo Xian's appearance, he understood that matters had reached a resolution. The so-called aerial control was merely a means to facilitate Luo Xian's intervention against Tyson. At that moment, although Luo Xian had just recovered from her ordeal and was not yet at her peak, she was not someone Tyson could withstand. Noticing the rampant comments condemning him, Lin Shun helplessly remarked, "Please, refrain from cursing me. Truly, no one understands Luo Xian better than I do. She is far from the fragile exterior you perceive. Just wait and watch, you will understand soon." Unfortunately, his words did not satisfy everyone. Many viewers responded with comments like, "What do you understand? If you wait, Goddess Luo will be done for. Clarify how you know. Boo-hoo, Goddess Luo's love is so humble." At that moment, on the left side of the split screen, in Tyson's view, Luo Xian moved. She stepped forward, approaching the side door. Tyson's eyes brightened even more, and as he turned the camera, he opened the car door. Gazing at the Eastern beauty within arm's reach, Tyson grinned and began to say hello, only for an astonishing scene to unfold that left countless viewers in shock. Luo Xian suddenly reached out, snatching the selfie stick from Tyson's grasp, while simultaneously yanking at his blonde hair, dragging him out of the car. The immense force caused Tyson's entire face to lift painfully. The intense agony contorted his features as he screamed, "Ah, ah, ah, let go, let go." The translator, momentarily stunned, quickly shouted in panic, "Luo Xian, what are you doing? Let go of Mr. Tyson." Luo Xian, realizing that she couldn't budge Tyson, furrowed her brow. She remained silent, continuing to pull on his hair in an attempt to drag him out. Tyson, on the brink of collapse, twisted his head and frantically searched for his seatbelt. With a click, the seatbelt released, and the 140-pound man was forcefully yanked from the business vehicle. Luo Xian, with one hand gripping the selfie stick and the other clutching Tyson's hair, dragged him toward the roadside grass. As Tyson's hands reached for her wrist, she effortlessly flicked him away. With a sound of tearing hair, Tyson soared through the air in a parabolic arc, landing on the grass. A significant patch of his scalp now bare and quickly turning crimson. Luo Xian discarded the hair in her hand, smiling as she greeted the viewers. "Hello, everyone. What's up?" Countless viewers were left dumbfounded as the chat erupted with excitement. "What the hell? Goddess Luo is too fierce. I'm in love." Not just fierce, she is downright ruthless. Not even someone like me, who works out daily, could throw Tyson that far. I finally understand what Lin Shan meant when he said that Goddess Luo is not as delicate as she appears. She is nothing short of a human female Tyrannosaurus. I'm terrified. I can never view Goddess Luo as a dream girl again. She's too ferocious. Only Lin Shan could withstand her without flinching. I finally comprehend why Lin Shan and Goddess Luo broke up. They must have fought daily, with one always on top. Woohoo, Sister Luo is so cool. I have completely fallen for her. Undoubtedly, Luo Xian's actions completely shattered her image in everyone's minds. Fierceness was one aspect. The entire process was swift and decisive, devoid of hesitation, akin to a cold-blooded assassin from a cinematic masterpiece. Yet, turning around, she greeted the viewers with a gentle smile, creating an intensely striking contrast that rendered her both formidable and endearing. At that moment, the translator rushed down from the vehicle, panicked, and ran to where Tyson was clutching his head in distress, repeatedly questioning him in a mix of languages. He soon turned to Luo Xian, livid, and demanded, "Luo Xian, why did you attack Mr. Tyson?" Luo Xian did not respond. Instead, she extended the selfie stick and placed it on the ground before striding toward Tyson, stating, "Since Tyson desires to witness the martial arts of Tanghua, I happen to have practiced for a couple of days. If you can intrude uninvited to challenge Lin Chen, I trust it's acceptable for me to do the same and challenge Tyson?" The translator stood there, dumbfounded, turning to Tyson, relaying Luo Xian's words. Upon hearing this, Tyson momentarily forgot his pain, rising to retort. The translator conveyed, "Mr. Tyson says he does not fight women. Furthermore, he demands a formal apology for your earlier actions." Luo Xian's expression remained serene as she stepped forward, halting just a meter away from Tyson. In terms of height, she stood half a head taller than him, which was typical since martial artists are generally not particularly tall. Tyson gazed at Luo Xian's beautiful face, momentarily entranced. In the next instant, smack. A sharp slap brought him back to reality. Tyson stared blankly at Luo Xian. Smack. Another swift slap sent Tyson's face turning in the opposite direction. As he turned back, he finally grasped what had transpired. His body trembled involuntarily, fists clenched, and his skin flushed red as a fierce glint sparked in his eyes. Luo Xian asked in a commanding tone, "May I strike now, Mr. Tyson?" Tyson, exasperated yet amused, replied, "Okay. Since Miss Luo is so self-assured, I shall experience her martial prowess firsthand." He immediately turned to the male translator and exchanged a few words. The translator glanced at Luo Xian with a mix of fear and concern before swiftly returning to the business vehicle to retrieve two documents. One was a waiver agreement. Should any injuries occur during their sparring session, neither party would bear any responsibility. As Luo Xian poised to sign, the translator could not help but whisper, "Miss Luo, you ought to reconsider. Tyson is a two-time world champion. This is no trifling matter." With a faint smile, Luo Xian inscribed her name on the document. The translator, witnessing this, could only acquiesce. Once both parties had signed, he stepped aside and picked up the selfie stick, directing the camera at the two standing on the grass. Tyson glared at Luo Xian, running a hand over his chilly scalp, his expression growing more sinister. "Miss Luo, we are now adversaries, and I will not show any mercy simply because you are a woman." Luo Xian, with an icy demeanor, regarded Tyson and declared, "One strike. If I cannot defeat you in one strike, I shall take my own life." The moment the words escaped her lips, not only did Tyson's expression freeze, but the audience in the live stream who understood the language gasped in disbelief. Such audacity from Luo Xian. In the next instant, Tyson erupted into a derisive laughter, tauntingly beckoning Luo Xian with his finger. The corners of her lips curved into a barely perceptible smile, and with a sudden push of her foot, she surged forward. With no fanfare but astonishing speed, she appeared before Tyson like a fleeting white shadow. Suddenly, she executed a leg sweep aimed at the left side of his neck. The sound of slicing wind resonated, akin to a fierce howl. Tyson's pupils constricted, and his scalp prickled. After years in the ring, he could gauge the ferocity of an opponent's attack merely by the sound of their strikes. At that moment, he comprehended the sheer terror of Luo Xian's blow. Yet, he could not fathom how such a seemingly frail woman could deliver such a devastating kick. Instinctively, he assumed a defensive posture typical of free fighting. Bang! Crack! Accompanied by a sound like cannon fire and the sickening sound of bones breaking, Luo Xian's leg, which had crushed Tyson's already broken arm, struck mercilessly against his neck. She still had enough strength to press down further. Tyson's balance faltered instantly. As his neck pulled his upper body downward, his feet abruptly lifted off the ground. In a near head-first tumble, his head collided violently with the grass, burying a significant portion of it into the earth. Crack! A dislocation of the cervical vertebra. Tyson's eyes rolled back, and he lost consciousness on the spot. Luo Xian calmly withdrew her leg and turned to the trembling translator holding the live stream phone, saying, "Call for an ambulance." Chapter 386. Now it's your turn. Everyone remember to call for an ambulance for her later. One could only say that Tyson was unfortunate. Luo Xian had long been brimming with pent-up frustration since her encounter with Lin Chun, and she had finally found an outlet for her anger. With that one kick, she felt a wave of relief wash over her. As Luo Xian's cold voice rang out, the translator snapped back to reality. Gasping in shock as he dropped the selfie stick and rushed to Tyson's side. He immediately noticed Tyson's left arm was grotesquely fractured, the bone protruding. Then he saw that Tyson's head was embedded in the dirt, with a noticeable bone protrusion at his neck, clearly dislocated. The consequences of a cervical dislocation could be severe, potentially leading to lifelong paralysis. The translator could not help but gasp, his eyes filled with terror as he glanced at the composed Luo Xian. Just moments ago, when she claimed she would defeat Tyson in one strike, he had laughed it off. Now his perception was utterly shattered. Was this truly the essence of Tang national martial arts? A world-class champion reduced to a mere shadow by a singing diva-esque kick. Who would dare to believe it without witnessing it firsthand? He nervously fumbled for his phone, dialing the hospital. Meanwhile, Luo Xian picked up the selfie stick, adjusted the slightly tilted live stream phone, and gazed into the screen. Realizing she was still connected, she locked her gaze on Lin Chen's image and announced, "Now it's your turn." Without waiting for him to respond, she ended the live stream. At Fengyin headquarters, Yang Dunhai exhaled a sigh of relief. To be honest, if the regulations were strictly followed, the moment Luo Xian and Tyson signed a combat agreement, Fengyin should have shut down Tyson's live stream. This was no mere playful sparring between streamers. It was a genuine, unrestricted, unprotected combat. Given that they were currently live with Lin Chun, nearly 140 million viewers were watching this event unfold. If any bloody scenes emerged, especially if Luo Xian were to be brutally beaten by Tyson, Fengyin would bear the blame, and the authorities would surely hold them accountable. Thus, he had consulted Zhang Qianji, who instructed him that if Luo Xian won, they wouldn't cut the stream, but if she lost, they would cut it immediately. Whatever happened, Zhang Qianji would take responsibility. This was not just a fight, it was a demonstration of national pride. If a woman like Luo Xian could achieve such feats, he, Zhang Qianji, would do his utmost to support her. Regardless of victory or defeat, the world must witness her glory. Yang Dunhai felt a surge of passion at those words. But he also sensed a somber undertone, realizing that deep down, Zhang Qianji had already resigned himself to the idea that Luo Xian would lose. Yet, unexpectedly, in a mere moment, Tyson was downed. The gruesome sight of his broken arm was captured, but due to the translator's nervousness, the footage was shaky and fleeting, rendering it not too damaging. Now that Luo Xian had voluntarily closed the stream, Yang Dunhai felt a profound sense of relief. He then recalled Luo Xian's final words and cast a sympathetic glance at Lin Chen's streaming room displayed on the computer screen. "Lin, may you take care of yourself. This woman, aside from you, is perhaps beyond anyone else's control." Simultaneously, the comments section of Lin Chen's streaming room erupted. "Wow, is Goddess Luo on a roll? If it weren't for that kick producing a sonic boom, I would have thought Tyson was bribed. No doubt about it, Goddess Luo definitely knows martial arts. That kick was so clean and powerful it broke Tyson's arm and buried his head in the dirt, simply terrifying. The entire fighting community is going to go wild. If even Tyson cannot withstand a strike from Goddess Luo, what chance do lesser fighters have? Goddess Luo should stop singing and head straight into action movies. ID buy 100 tickets. Wow, could it be that Goddess Luo actually practices Qigong? How else could a woman possess such terrifying strength?" Lin is finished. Goddess Luo's last remark clearly indicates she intends to challenge him. Countless viewers were exhilarated, not just because Luo Xian had triumphed over Tyson with a single blow, but because this incident undeniably proved the existence of Tang national martial arts. Moreover, it suggested the reality of Qigong. Otherwise, how could one explain how Luo Xian, With her slender frame and having just recovered from a hospital emergency room, could deliver such a formidable strike? Reporters and self-media stationed in Lin Shen's streaming room sprang into action, as related videos and articles began to circulate wildly across major platforms. Upon hearing Luo Xian's final words, Lin Shen couldn't help but chuckle. This woman seemed to have found a wealth of confidence from taking down Tyson, a mere novice. Glancing at the comments, he remarked, "I told you all along, Luo Xian would be just fine, and now you believe me, don't you? At this point, I won't hide anything from you. Some people may appear as singers, but they are actually martial arts enthusiasts. Next, she might just come after me." With a sudden sigh, he remarked, "Everyone, remember to call an ambulance for her when the time comes." Upon hearing this, the audience erupted with laughter. Ha! Can the goddess of war's beating even be called a beating? It's merely a spur of love. Lin, you better be careful. If you need to purchase accident insurance, feel free to message me. I offer preferential prices. What do you mean, call an ambulance? Lin, you're not holding back at all, are you? You wouldn't actually intend to go hard on the goddess, would you? The goddess's leg skills are indeed impressive, but compared to Lin's kick to an SUV, she falls short. Just wait until she shatters the headlights and spills the oil. Wow, that is a bit ruthless, but there is truth in it. Lin, remember to launch a fierce attack on the goddess in the mid and bottom lanes. You're certain to achieve a surprising victory. Despite the goddess's formidable combat prowess, a significant portion of the audience still believed Lin Shen would emerge victorious, leading to a flurry of jokes. At that moment, Schwerer descended with Lai Fu in her arms. Spotting Lin Shen, she hurried over, saying, "Chen Shun, I didn't notice before, but it seems Lai Fu is injured." Lin Shen took Lai Fu, probing with a hint of true energy for an examination. His expression suddenly shifted, and he solemnly stated, "The injury is rather severe." Schwerer's face paled. "What should we do?" Lin Shen pondered. "How about we inform the innkeeper? We could stew it tonight. You all have worked hard during this time, and could use a good meal." He couldn't help but swallow hard at the thought. Schwerer. She immediately glared at Lin Shen, her cheeks puffed up in indignation. Lai Fu, whether understanding or not, began to tremble and whimper, struggling to escape. The audience in the live stream burst into laughter. "Wow, Lin is too ruthless. Lai Fu's dad entrusted it to you for just half a day, and now you're turning it into hot pot?" Lai Fu's dad, "Thank you so much. Lin, be a decent person. Lai Fu is so adorable. How can you bear to eat it? Remember to add white radish when cooking. It'll taste much better. To be honest, dog meat shouldn't be consumed lightly. For once you do, you'll find an unbidden smile on your face." Chapter 387, Shocking Everyone. He Tang actually backed down seeing Schwerer fuming. Lin Shen chuckled. "I was just joking. Why so serious?" Schwerer, relieved, was just beginning to smile when Lin Shen continued. "This little one isn't enough for all of us to eat. Let us nurture it a bit longer." Schwerer snatched Lai Fu back from Lin Shen and hugged it tightly, marching upstairs without a word. Is she angry? It was Lin Shen's first time witnessing Schwerer lose her temper, and he found it quite amusing. He called out, "Lai Fu is fine. It just has a bruised hind leg and will be fine with a couple of days' rest." In truth, he had already used his true energy to heal Lai Fu's injury, and it would likely be bouncing around by tomorrow. After waiting downstairs for a while, Li Xiao and the others finally emerged after freshening up. Schwerer, still clutching Lai Fu, remained on high alert. Observing this, Lin Shen asked them to take over the broadcast while he went upstairs to shower. Upon returning upstairs, he grabbed his clothes and entered the bathroom, catching a whiff of a fragrance that was hard to pinpoint, perhaps shower gel or something else. He washed up as quickly as possible, dressed, and went back downstairs, where he found Li Xiao and the others looking at him with unusual expressions. He couldn't help but ask, "What is going on?" Li Xiao exclaimed, "Is the goddess really that formidable? She can actually fight?" Yi Xiaoxi was equally astonished. "I didn't see it before. If that kick had been aimed at you, could you have blocked it?" Lin Shen burst into laughter, half-jokingly responding, "With her 2 decades of skill, I might not be able to block it. I'd likely just fall to the ground and wouldn't get up until the live stream hits 10 million. Yi Xiaoxi couldn't help but roll her eyes dramatically. She then handed over a tablet. There's a new list that just came in. Lin Shen took the tablet and asked Xiao Ji to check on the additional 9 people. This time, thankfully, there were no issues. He promptly signed his name on the electronic confirmation form. Seeing that dinner time was approaching, everyone proceeded to the small dining room to eat. During the meal, Xiao Ji suddenly announced, "Dad, Li Feiyun is in trouble." Lin Shen's spirit perked up. Before he could speak, he felt his backup phone vibrate gently. Glancing at it, he saw a news link sent by Xiao Ji. Upon opening it, he discovered it was a news article from Hong Kong released just 3 minutes prior. In summary, it reported that Li Feiyun, who had recently returned to Hong Kong, had fallen overboard while fishing on a yacht and had his leg bitten off by a passing shark. Fortunately, he was rescued in time and was now in emergency surgery, still in critical condition. Lin Chen couldn't help but smile. Such news was quite gratifying. It was worth the 6 minutes he had spent chanting the curse of misfortune for Li Feiyun. He wondered if Li Feiyun had managed to find the so-called expert for He Tang. In the city, He Tang, who had lost considerable weight, lay on his side in bed, scrolling through news about Li Feiyun's incident on his phone. His eyes trembled as an icy chill permeated his being. He had just called Li Feiyun in the afternoon, and now, by evening, Li Feiyun was in trouble. What a coincidence, what a curse. He Tang's mind involuntarily conjured Lin Chen's face, shivering at the thought. If things were truly as he suspected, then Lin Chen was far too terrifying. Such a person was simply not someone one could contend with. Previously, he had planned to rely on experts from Hong Kong to navigate through this crisis. But now it seemed that even Li Feiyun was a mud Buddha crossing the river, unable to protect himself. In that moment, He Tang was genuinely frightened. His expression shifted rapidly before he sighed deeply. Exiting the news page, he opened Fengyin, then changed his digital nickname to Express He Tang and submitted his identity verification information. He then handed his phone to his secretary, saying, "Help me operate this on the computer. Recharge 5 billion to my Fengyin account." The secretary, trembling as he took the phone, exclaimed in shock, "Mr. He, what are you planning?" He Tang's face revealed a hint of bitterness as he replied, "Once my identity verification is approved and the funds are credited, just transfer all of it to Lin Chen. No need for any comments. He should understand the meaning." The secretary gasped, "Mr. He, why?" He couldn't understand why He Tang would do this. Having been by He Tang's side for many years, he knew well that He Tang, despite appearing refined, was fundamentally not one to easily concede. Not to mention, the entangled history between Lin Chen and He Tang had reached a point where it could only be described as a life-and-death struggle. Now, He Tang was openly sending Lin Chen a gift of 5 billion Tang country coins through his verified Fengyin account. To outsiders, this would undoubtedly be seen as a total surrender. It wouldn't just be He Tang losing face. The entire express company would be shamed and become a laughingstock in the industry. He Tang's voice turned stern. "Just do as I say. Don't ask what you shouldn't." The secretary quickly closed his mouth and began to follow He Tang's instructions. 10 minutes later, the secretary looked up and said, "Mr. He, your identity verification has been approved and the funds are credited. Should I start the transfer now?" Just as the secretary was about to select the gift, He Tang suddenly called out, "Wait." After a few seconds of inner turmoil, he slowly closed his eyes, letting out a heavy sigh of resignation. "Go ahead." The secretary immediately set to work. As Lin Chen just set down his chopsticks, he heard Xiao Zhi's reminder. After a moment of surprise, he glanced at the livestream phone to see gift effects flashing on the screen. In a moment of exuberance, the renowned He Tang bestowed a staggering 1,000 carnival gifts upon the livestream, inciting a frenzy among countless viewers. The chat erupted with exclamations of disbelief and excitement, questioning the authenticity of such a generous gesture. Observers speculated whether He Tang had truly softened his stance, as the sheer magnitude of the gifts led to rampant conjecture about his motivations. Lin Chen, intrigued by this sudden turn of events, quietly inquired with Xiao Zhi, who revealed that He Tang had recently perused news regarding Li Feiyun's predicament. It became evident to Lin Chen that this incident had instilled fear in He Tang, compelling him to abandon past grievances and seek reconciliation. However, this also indicated He Tang's deep entanglement in superstition, a perplexing reality for the leader of a prominent tech firm specializing in cutting-edge skin technology. Lin Chen, recognizing the significance of this development, felt reluctant to forgive He Tang so easily. The sum of 5 billion seemed trivial in the grand scheme of things, but it was indicative of a deeper issue. He believed that He Tang should continue to endure the consequences of his actions, despite the ostentatious display of generosity. Lin Chen remained skeptical, suspecting ulterior motives behind such extravagant gifts. As the chat continued to flood with reactions, many viewers expressed their disbelief, asserting that a sum as vast as 5 billion could not merely be a token of goodwill. Lin Chen's remarks ignited further speculation, hinting at potential ulterior motives behind He Tang's generous overture. Meanwhile, in the depths of the city, He Tang, upon hearing Lin Chen's comments, felt a wave of frustration wash over him. The enormity of the gift weighed heavily on his conscience, and in a moment of exasperation, he dismissed his secretary's suggestion to send more gifts. The secretary, taken aback by He Tang's vehement response, left the room, only to encounter He Tang's eldest son, He Sheng. Concern etched on his face. Hisheng learned from the secretary that his father appeared to be under some form of supernatural influence. Initially incredulous, Hisheng could not fathom that his father would be swayed by such nonsense, especially in light of the significant gifts sent to Lin Shun, which seemed to stem from a place of desperation. As the narrative unfolded, it became clear that He Tang's actions were part of a larger scheme orchestrated by unseen forces, leading Lin Shun to a startling revelation about the true nature of He Tang's predicament. The connections to the Yamamoto family and their nefarious intentions began to crystallize, revealing a web of manipulation that extended far beyond mere superstition. Alternatively, He Tang might have been experiencing stomach troubles, confusing the sensation with the ammonia gas in his intestines. Ultimately, this led him to believe that the misfortunes he faced were the result of Lin Chen's malevolence. He chose to remain an observer, waiting for the conflict between both parties to escalate, anticipating the moment he could intervene and send He Tang and his family into turmoil. In that event, the Yamamoto family could rise to prominence, competing for greater influence within the internal affairs of Jiesun, or elevate a compliant puppet to a position of power. It wouldn't be fair to label He Tang as foolish. Rather, the prior sensationalism by various online media had subtly instilled a preconceived notion within him. When a series of unfortunate events befell him, He Tang likely found himself questioning his circumstances without needing outside prompting. After undergoing treatment from a Qigong master, which reshaped his understanding of the world, his conviction only deepened. In Lin Chen's previous life, similar events had already transpired. A certain sect of practitioners in the martial world attracted the attention of business magnates and celebrities alike, who flocked to them as if they were deities. This illustrates that even the successful are not immune to deception. On the contrary, in Tang country, those who achieve success often find themselves more susceptible to the allure of mysticism and thus more easily tricked. It is quite perplexing. Understanding the preceding circumstances, Lin Chen discreetly instructed Xiao Ji to investigate the Yamamoto family, while simultaneously sending a recording of Secretary Fang's collusion with them to He Tang's phone, as a form of compensation for the recently accrued 500 million. Chapter 389. The briefest resurgence in history. A crisis approaches in the depths of the city. He Tang lay on his sickbed, pondering how to persuade Lin Chen to spare him. Suddenly, a notification popped up on his phone, catching him off guard. This email was from his private account, known only to a select few, and it had been quite some time since he received any correspondence. Upon opening it, he discovered an anonymous sender had sent an audio file, intriguingly titled, "The Matter of Secretary Fang's Collusion with the Yamamoto Family." His expression darkened immediately. After scanning the file for viruses and finding none, He Tang hesitated briefly before listening to it. His complexion rapidly shifted to one of disbelief. After the three women finished their dinner and the dog, Laifu, had his fill of the dog food soaked in water, he fell into a deep slumber in Schwerer's arms. Before heading upstairs, Lin Shun took the opportunity to purchase a small bag of dog food from the innkeeper and requested a cardboard box lined with 2 tattered towels, fashioning it into a makeshift dog bed. Once upstairs, the atmosphere grew slightly awkward as 1 man, 3 women, and 1 dog occupied the same room. Lin Shin cleared his throat and suggested, "Perhaps I should set up a tent in the lobby instead." Yi Xiaoxi immediately opposed, "No way. What if bad people come at night?" Li Ziao and Schwer nodded in agreement. Lin Shin thought to himself that there weren't that many bad people around. However, since they showed no fear of awkwardness, he felt he had nothing to worry about. Subsequently, at Yi Xiaoxi's suggestion, the group began to play a game of Do Di Zhu to pass the time. Not long into the game, they saw a message pop up in the chat, announcing that Wendaoj and Fan Mao Mao had both gone live. Lin Shin glanced at the chat and smiled, saying, "If they wish to stream, then let them. There are only so many top-tier streamers online, and if they don't broadcast, it would indeed be a pity. I hold no grudges against them. And since we are on the same platform, it would be best if we could get along." His words offered Wendaoj and Fan Mao Mao a degree of reprieve, primarily as a nod to Zhang Qianji. The chat exploded with playful banter. What Lin Shin said is true. Zhu Yanlong is also a top-tier streamer. Yet he ended up on death row today, and even his wife wasn't spared. Fist dog, you think you're so high and mighty? Others can stream, but I get sent to the sewing machine. When will Brother Duan return? Is his wound still not healed? It's been ages since I last saw him stream. Lin Shin's perspective is commendable. Despite the hostility from Wendaoj and Fan Mao Mao, he was able to let go of past grievances. If it were me, I would have trampled them down. Regardless of whether they stream or not, I'm definitely not watching those two. As the chat continued to scroll, suddenly, Wendaoj gifted 100 Carnival. Gun King Fan Mao Mao gifted 100 Carnival. The moment these two gift notifications appeared, they ignited the live stream chat. Messages flooded in, praising their gestures and poking fun at the situation, with comments like "Here comes the peace offering," and "Still consider it," even though these two had sent gifts. They failed to win over the audience's favor in Lin Chen's live stream. Their return was overshadowed by their past actions, and especially for Wendaoj. His numerous extramarital affairs had branded him as a disgrace in the entertainment industry, rendering him unwelcome on public platforms. Lin Chen graciously acknowledged the gifts with a smile, but said little else. Wendaoj and Fan Mao Mao seemed to sense the awkwardness and exited the stream shortly after sending their gifts. Just when it seemed the matter would fade away, a moment later, someone shared alarming news in the chat. "Oh no. Wendaoj's reincarnation failed. He has just been permanently banned." This revelation sparked a whirlwind of chatter. Many curious onlookers scoured the internet, only to discover that the Live Streaming Management Association had just released the latest list of permanent bans, which included Wendaoj. Furthermore, Zuyanlong's name was also on the list, both condemned to a metaphorical death, and their pasts were being brought to light. The chat erupted with laughter. I can't stop laughing. Wendaoj's fate is too tragic. He was just excitedly preparing for his comeback stream and had contacted numerous suppliers, only to be abruptly met with a permanent ban. Ha. Wendaoj is indeed unfortunate, suffering another loss after sending Lin Chen those 100 carnival gifts for nothing. Everyone, let us light a candle for Wendaoj. He just crawled out of the ground, only to be knocked back down again, and now even the coffin lid is nailed shut. Lin Chen, confess honestly, are you the one who secretly reported Wendaoj? Amidst the sympathy, the situation was undeniably dramatic, marking the briefest resurgence in history. Noticing that more and more comments suggested he had reported Wendaoj, Lin Chen promptly refuted, "I, Lin Chen, stand by my actions. I have reported many people in the past, and have never shied away from owning up to it. To suggest I reported Wendaoj is to underestimate my character. I hereby declare that Wendaoj's situation has nothing to do with me. However, since he will no longer be streaming, I shall return those 100 carnival gifts to him." With that, he used a spare phone to enter Wendaoj's live stream, where he indeed found the permanent ban notification already in place. He then sent 100 carnival gifts, thereby concluding the incident. The group continued playing Do Di Zhu until nearly 11 p.m., reluctantly wrapping up their game. At this point, everyone, including Lin Chen, had their faces adorned with eyebrow pencil in a comically disheveled manner. Given Lin Chen's intelligence, it was surprising he ended up in such a predicament, but unfortunately, he had encountered incompetent teammates. High intelligence could only achieve so much. Over 1 billion viewers were thoroughly entertained, and the show had been quite enjoyable. After washing their faces, they each prepared for bed. Lin Chen took out his sleeping bag, laid it on the floor, and promptly crawled inside. Yi Xiaoxi and the others exchanged glances, hesitating to speak, but ultimately, they could not bring themselves to say anything. Upon learning that Lin Chen planned to have Xiaoxi stream through the night, Yi Xiaoxi and the others shared a moment of silent frustration. What was his intention in streaming overnight? After some deliberation, Li Xiao and Schwerer decided to share a bed, while Yi Xiaoxi opted for her own. Soon, the lights were turned off and they settled down to sleep. After a brief moment in the darkness, sensing that Yi Xiaoxi and the others had drifted off, Lin Chen finally relaxed and fell into a deep slumber. Unbeknownst to him, a while later, Xiaoxi's voice suddenly pierced through the silence. "Dad, wake up. Something has happened." Lin Chen suddenly regained consciousness and quietly inquired, "What happened?" Xiaoxi, with a grave tone, replied, "A secret order has just been issued from the colorful Flag Nation. A T-3 aircraft is taking off from the deck of a naval mothership and is swiftly heading towards our current coordinates. It will arrive in no more than 20 minutes. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen felt a chill run down his spine. With a cold voice, he asked, "What do they intend to do?" Xiaoxi, irate, responded, "The T-3 itself is unarmed. However, they plan to use a long-range sniper rifle to incapacitate you from a high altitude before abducting both you and me to the colorful Flag Nation." Chapter 390. Stargazing in the middle of the night? What the hell? A UFO. Lin Chen was taken aback by this revelation, feeling both astonished and somewhat speechless. Previously, when Yi Xiaoxi expressed her concern about potential dangers at night, he thought such fears were unfounded. Little did he expect that danger would indeed arrive, and in the form of a UFO wielding a sniper rifle. Who would believe such a tale? He couldn't help but admire the creativity of those from the colorful Flag Nation. He had heard fantastical stories of aliens abducting humans in flying saucers. Could it be that the colorful flag people were employing the T-3 for such purposes? Nevertheless, the combination of a UFO and a sniper rifle seemed rather incongruous. Evidently, the colorful Flag Nation had conducted thorough research on him, suspecting that he possessed formidable combat abilities, which is why they opted for a long-range sniper attack to incapacitate him before the abduction. Their objective was undoubtedly linked to anti-gravity technology. They were clearly desperate to reveal such a trump card. In the darkness, Lin Chen's eyes sparkled with intrigue. How fascinating. It was indeed a captivating turn of events. Since he was forewarned of this information, it would be remiss not to accept this grand gift, given the colorful Flag Nation's earnest performance. Although the Tang Nation had already developed more advanced anti-gravity technology, having additional resources would only enhance their capabilities. Securing AT-3 would aid in identifying the weaknesses of their adversaries and adapting useful technologies and equipment for their own anti-gravity aircraft. After a brief pause, upon hearing Xiao Ji announce that the UFO would arrive in 5 minutes, Lin Chen could no longer resist the urge to emerge from his sleeping bag and visit the restroom. It was remarkable how, in the era of live streaming, people would watch others even while they slept. As Lin Chen got up, the previously sparse barrage of comments erupted with enthusiasm. They're coming. Lin Chen has endured half the night. He can no longer resist the urge for a midnight raid. I don't regret drinking 2 cans of coffee, at last. We reached the climax. 3 beautiful ladies are lying there. Who can sleep through this? Tonight must have a story. Wow. Lin Shen's voice has been held back for so long. If the plot unfolds as expected, Lin Shen will first target the solitary Yi, and the 2 ladies nearby will undoubtedly stir upon hearing the commotion. Emerging from the restroom, Lin Shen was about to quietly slip out when he noticed that all 3 girls in the 2 beds had opened their eyes and were sitting up, staring at him intently. Lin Shen remarked, "So, why must we all squeeze into one room? It's making it hard for everyone to sleep." He cleared his throat and added, "Do you all have such light sleep?" The 3 girls exchanged glances, their cheeks flushing slightly. What they were anticipating or guarding against was known only to them. Seeing their reaction, Lin Chen boldly stated, "I'm feeling a bit restless and plan to step outside for some fresh air. Would anyone like to join me?" The girls were momentarily stunned. Li Xiao glanced at her phone and exclaimed, "But it's only 2:30 in the morning. Going out at this hour?" Lin Chen replied solemnly, "I heard there would be shooting stars tonight. I want to see if I can catch a glimpse." "What?" Li Xiao and the others were taken aback once more and quickly sprang out of bed in excitement. Even Yi Xiaoxi joined in. Indeed, girls find it hard to resist the allure of making wishes upon falling stars. The group opened the door and quietly descended to the lobby on the first floor. Upon entering, they noticed the innkeeper asleep on a folding bed behind the counter, covered with a thick blanket. Lin Chen couldn't help but reflect on how challenging it was to run a business these days. Moreover, many innkeepers he encountered along the way seemed to be single. They soon pushed open the glass door, and a gust of cold wind rushed in. The group hurriedly exited the inn. Aside from a solitary street lamp under the eaves, the mountains ahead were shrouded in darkness, devoid of any light. Distant howls of wolves echoed from an unknown location. The girls instinctively huddled closer to Lin Chen. Li Xiao whispered, "But there aren't any stars in the sky. It's so cloudy. Will there really be shooting stars?" Shuer, rubbing her hands together, shivered and suggested, "It's quite cold here at night. Maybe we should head back to sleep." Lin Chen casually surveyed the roiling clouds above, remaining silent. Just then, Xiao Ji's voice pierced through the anticipation. 2 minutes left. The barrage of comments surged on the screen. "I just checked, and there's no indication that the Sichuan area will have shooting stars tonight. I'm a meteorologist. With this weather, there's no way there will be shooting stars. If we actually capture one, I'll go all out. Don't take it too seriously. It's like watching a movie. What matters isn't what we see, but the goal we achieve during that hour. It reminds me of her. I once cuddled with her on a mountain peak to watch a meteor shower. If it hadn't been for her husband's sudden call that night, I would have sealed the deal." 2 minutes passed swiftly. In the high-altitude clouds, a black-painted triangular aircraft silently and swiftly arrived above the area, nearly 1,000 meters above the ground. The underside of the aircraft bore 3 circular lights, which were inconspicuous due to the cloud cover. Inside the cockpit, a large screen displayed thermal imaging of the scene below, clearly revealing Lin Chen and the others gathered outside the inn. Simultaneously, Lin Chen's live stream was also mirrored on the screen for comparison. 3 Western men clad in anti-radiation suits wore expressions of unease. They then turned to a man of Tang nationality. One middle-aged man remarked, "Jean, are they really out here to watch shooting stars? The timing seems too coincidental. Could it be a trap?" The man referred to as Jean shook his head. "I've been monitoring his live stream. He has been broadcasting since he went to bed without contacting anyone. It should just be a coincidence." The other man nodded slightly, furrowing his brow. "At our current altitude, can we hit him with a sniper rifle?" A younger Western man replied, "We're too high up. and the wind is strong. Visibility isn't great, making it difficult to ensure a precise shot. We need to lower our altitude by at least 100 meters. But doing so would risk exposing our position. The leading middle-aged man pondered briefly and said, "Exposure is a minor concern. What matters is completing the mission. This operation must succeed, no failure allowed. David, it's up to you. You have only one shot." The ace sniper from the colorful flag nation, David, nodded slightly before turning to leave. He quickly arrived at a corner where a hunting rifle, known as the strongest sniper rifle in the world, was pre-installed. This sniper rifle was theoretically capable of hitting targets over 2,000 meters away. As David pressed a button, a small circular opening appeared on the side of the aircraft, allowing the rifle's barrel to extend. David assumed his position, eyes fixed on the thermal imaging scope, slowly adjusting the crosshairs to the location of Lin Chun and the others. He meticulously regulated his breathing, maintaining a calm and collected demeanor. At the same time, the T-3 began to descend, ultimately breaking through the clouds. Just then, as Lin Chun's gaze roamed about, seemingly searching for a meteor, he suddenly took off running without warning. With an outstretched hand pointing towards the sky, he exclaimed, "Holy cow! A UFO!" Chapter 391, Shock Across the Board. The UFO has crashed. His sudden shout startled not only Yi Xiaoxi and the others, but also sent a jolt through the over 60 million viewers in the once dull livestream. As Lin Chun shouted, Xiaoxi immediately directed the camera towards the spot Lin Chun indicated. The camera, in a silent burst of speed, ascended several hundred meters in an instant, allowing the audience to clearly behold the full form of the T-3. With its triangular shape, the craft featured 3 prominent lights, and at its center, a light with a faint blue glow. In that moment, the barrage of comments in the live chat ceased entirely, only to erupt into chaos moments later. "Holy cow, holy cow, holy cow. Oh, it really is a UFO. I'm losing it. This can't be special effects, right? Are there really aliens in this world? Forget special effects. This is live streaming. Do you understand? This is insane. We were just watching a meteor shower. How did a UFO appear? Aliens are invading Earth." The audience was in a frenzy, rushing to other streams to spread the news. Journalists and bloggers who had stubbornly remained awake in the live chat were equally startled, trembling with excitement. What a monumental event. Lin Chun had discovered an alien UFO live on air. Unlike the dubious UFO videos circulating online, the current footage was not only incredibly clear, but also completely stable. This single scene was enough to drive UFO enthusiasts worldwide into a frenzy. In contrast, the officials monitoring Lin Chun's stream from the Nguisi had turned pale, urgently reporting the situation. Simultaneously, this scene was projected onto the large screen in the T-3 control room. The faces of several citizens from Tsaichi country darkened. The T-3 spacecraft was a state secret, and now it was being exposed live. While most people might not comprehend it, the Tang country officials would certainly recognize it immediately and discern the implications. A middle-aged man at the forefront shouted, "David, what are you waiting for? Open fire." David, who was aiming, felt a tightening in his chest. He wanted to shoot, but the young man below was darting about erratically, moving faster than a rabbit, making it impossible to fire without consequence. Just as David prepared to take a desperate shot, he suddenly noticed his surroundings becoming blindingly bright. Then, a deafening roar erupted, causing him to instinctively pull the trigger. A sniper bullet landed mere meters from Lin Chun, creating a large crater in the grass. At the same time, David felt the craft shake unexpectedly. A sense of weightlessness overwhelmed him, and he could not help but reveal his astonishment. What was happening? To the countless viewers in the live stream, they witnessed the alien UFO, suspended in midair, suddenly struck by a bolt of lightning from the sky. In the next moment, the 3 lights at the bottom flickered before the craft lost power and began plummeting rapidly. Boom! The triangular craft crashed violently between 2 meadows, sending plumes of smoke billowing into the air. What the hell is happening? The UFO was struck by lightning. It crashed. No way. This is unbelievable. Does the alien spaceship not have lightning protection? Holy cow. Lin Chun is chasing after it. Is he trying to capture an alien? Lin Chun is amazing. This is first contact. Wow. Lin Chun is going to achieve great things. If he really acquires alien technology, Tang country will rise to greatness. Haha. Those who didn't stick around for Lin Chun's live stream are going to regret it in the morning. This surreal and astonishing scene left Li Xiao and the others dumbfounded. Weren't they supposed to be watching a meteor shower? How did it turn into a crashing UFO? Seeing Lin Chun sprinting swiftly towards the crash site, they exchanged glances and hurried to follow. In that moment, Lin Chun, laughing as he ran, knew that this spectacle was the result of his directed curse on the T3 being struck by lightning. The reason for the live stream was not merely for entertainment. It was to place Tsaichi Country under scrutiny. If Tsaichi Country denied possessing the T3, then too bad. This alien spacecraft had landed in Tang Country, making it Tang Country's property. Tsaichi Country could only swallow their pride. If Tsaichi Country acknowledged the craft as their own, then the question arose, what was their aircraft doing deep within Tang Country's territory? Could that not be seen as a violation of airspace and territory, potentially inciting war? Since it had been captured, it was now spoils of war. Want to take it back? Not a chance. Of course, for Lin Shan personally. The primary objective was to generate a surge of popularity. Tang Country's viewership had already plateaued, so why not expand the horizons? There were still countless people around the world who had yet to witness his live stream. This event was bound to create a global sensation. Who knows how many foreigners would specifically bypass restrictions to see what was happening in his stream. This was his first step onto the international stage. Meanwhile, the Wind Sound headquarters was in a frenzy. The night shift staff were on edge, cold sweat trickling down their backs. Could this scene even continue to be broadcasted? Report it. Quick, report it. Yang Dunhai and Zhang Qinji were awakened almost simultaneously by the ringing phones. As they listened, their groggy minds snapped into clarity, their eyes widening in shock. Lin, what on earth are you doing? Is this part of a script? If this wasn't scripted, it was simply outrageous. In the dead of night, even aliens were appearing in UFOs to enhance the show's effect. Zhang Qinji quickly opened Lin Chen's live stream. He immediately saw the camera hovering high above, focused on the still smoking triangular craft. Somewhere in the frame, Lin Chen was rapidly approaching the crash site. His heart raced with anxiety. He hurriedly called Lin Chen. As Lin Chen sprinted, he heard his phone ring, glanced at it, and answered. Before Zhang Qinji could speak, Lin Chen said, Mr. Zhang, no need to cut the stream. Whatever happens, I'll take responsibility. Zhang Qinji quickly replied, Lin, you're the one who said that. I've recorded it. So don't deny it later. He was genuinely afraid. Could such a thing be broadcasted live? If this escalated, even he, the president of Wind Sound, would not be able to bear the fallout. If it had been anyone else, he would have immediately instructed the tech department to cut the stream without hesitation. Lin Chen chuckled. Sure, record it. I stand by my words. He then hung up. Just after he disconnected, his phone rang again. It was Zhong Wenzhou calling. By this time, Lin Chen had arrived at the edge of the crash site, standing on the meadow and gazing down at the craft. Upon answering the call, Zhong Wenzhou's voice trembled. Lin, did you really bring down Tsaichi Country's T3? Chapter 392, Free Shipping to Your Home. Is this script real? The fact that he even referred to Lin Chen as dad reflected just how astonished and excited Zhong Wenzhou was. That was the T3, which had ignored defense systems and penetrated deep into Tang Country's territory as if it were a no man's land. Attempts to shoot it down in the past had all ended in failure. Who could have imagined that it would now fall right before Lin Chen? Lin Chen replied earnestly. This is clearly an unclaimed alien spacecraft. What T3? I've never even heard of it. Moreover, I didn't bring it down. It was struck by lightning. I will first assess the situation inside. The relevant personnel should arrive promptly to transport it away. Zhong Wenzhou said with a wry smile, you needn't worry about that. Help is already on the way. But why are you still broadcasting? Would it be possible to turn it off? Lin Chen replied, this operation is directly targeting me. Just moments ago, they attempted to shoot me with a sniper rifle. If I hadn't reacted swiftly, I would likely have been severely injured, if not killed. Others have become so reckless. Why should we continue to conceal ourselves? There are times when we must adopt a firm stance. I intend to expose their true nature, allowing the entire world to see the face of the colorful flag nation. Let us see if they dare act so brazenly again. Upon hearing this, Zhong Wenzhou's anger flared. Deep down, he agreed with Lin Chen's sentiments. In the past, the Tang nation had been overly focused on moderation in its quest for development, often resorting to protests when faced with issues. This approach sometimes conveyed an impression of weakness, leaving the populace feeling aggrieved. However, as times change and the global landscape shifts, the overt bullying by the colorful flag nation has necessitated a response. Otherwise, the Tang nation would indeed be perceived as vulnerable and easily bullied. In terms of responsibilities, he could not decide unilaterally and could only report Lin Chen's thoughts up the chain of command. As for the higher-ups' decisions, that was beyond his control. Yet, based on Zhong Wenzhou's understanding of those in authority, they would ultimately consider Lin Chen's personal wishes. When the time came for disputes or verbal exchanges, so be it. He said no more, merely advising Lin Chen to exercise caution before ending the call. Lin Chen promptly powered off his backup phone. He leaped toward the spacecraft. With the live-streaming phone swiftly descending from above, following closely beside him. Lin Chen glanced at the barrage of comments and half-jokingly remarked, "Dear viewers, I've negotiated the price of the flying saucer down for you. It's not even 100,000 or 10,000. It's 998 with free shipping right to your doorstep. Tonight, let us see what the interior structure of this extraterrestrial craft looks like and what aliens truly resemble. For those who haven't yet followed, hurry and click that follow button. If we gather 1,000 carnival tickets, I will unveil the truth about aliens for you." As these words left his lips, the tense atmosphere dissipated and the audience in the live chat erupted with joy. What the heck? 998 with free shipping. Lin Chen, don't just talk. Drop the link already. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. I can't shake the feeling this is scripted. Wow. As expected of Lin Chen. Is this high-end merchandise for his first product launch? My parents have mobility issues. Wouldn't it be reasonable to buy a flying saucer for 998 as a mode of transport? Gathering 1,000 carnival tickets is a bit excessive. I'll just buy 2 pounds of kiwi to support you. Not to mention, I almost forgot, the Crazy Race 318 has already started. Everyone, help Lin Chen boost his performance. Lin Chen, stop talking nonsense. I just want to see what aliens look like. After that, I will definitely shower you with carnival tickets. As the comments rapidly scrolled, many began to donate carnival tickets. In just 10 seconds, they had indeed reached 1,000. Among them were numerous wealthy individuals who had come from other streams, initially drawn in by the exaggerated comments, only to find themselves witnessing a flying saucer. Who could resist such a spectacle? Meanwhile, Fan Mao Mao, who was live streaming a game, noticed the comments flooding in about Lin Chen's stream, showcasing a flying saucer. Deep down, he believed it was surely a scripted event, and a grand production at that. Curiosity got the better of him, and he couldn't help but click into Lin Chen's livestream. His eyes widened in astonishment. The props appeared astonishingly realistic, and the size was immense. Not to mention, the production and transport costs must have been considerable. Has the bar been raised so high for scripted events these days? He exclaimed loudly, "Whoa, brothers. Everyone head over to Lin Chen's livestream. He has truly revealed a flying saucer, regardless of whether it was scripted or not." Fan Mao Mao planned to seize the opportunity to ingratiate himself, not wanting to end up like the one who had just emerged only to be pushed back down. From now on, Lin Chen would be the king of Fengyin. He, the sharpshooter Fan Mao Mao, was but a bullet in Lin Chen's chamber. Meanwhile, across the ocean, in a clandestine command center, a large screen displayed Lin Chen's livestream. Watching the T3, now devoid of power and emitting black smoke. Several Western men adorned with prestigious military insignia wore grim expressions. One elderly man bellowed, "Haven T, we established contact yet?" An immediate response followed. "We are unable to reach them. The communication system of Unit 1 appears to be damaged." The elder, seeing Lin Chen approach the spacecraft on the screen, coldly commanded, "Activate the self-destruct system." Someone quickly replied, "The self-destruct system is unresponsive. It seems the previous lightning strike has damaged some critical components." Bang! The elder slammed his fist onto the control panel and suddenly looked up, his eyes filled with resolve. "Dispatch Unit 2 immediately. We must obliterate the damaged Unit 1 before the Tang Nation officials arrive on the scene. Furthermore, continue with the unfinished mission of Unit 1. If we cannot bring the target back in time, execute it on site." As these words were uttered, gasps of shock filled the room. A middle-aged commander interjected, "We only have 2 T3s in total. If this one encounters problems as well, our losses will be catastrophic." The elder cast a glance at the middle-aged man and replied, "For us now, what difference does it make whether we lose 1 or 2? The middle-aged commander, taken aback, firmly shook his head. "This matter must be reported to the Alliance leader." The elder immediately took out his phone, dialed the Alliance leader's number, and, on speakerphone, swiftly reported the situation. About 10 seconds later, a frail voice emerged from the other end. "Proceed with the execution." Instantly, no one present dared to voice any objections. The elder acknowledged it, hung up, and commanded, "Unit 2, mobilize at once." Lin Chen approached the overturned spacecraft. The livestream camera had not made it apparent until he drew closer, revealing the immense size of the craft. It appeared as an equilateral triangle, each side nearly 20 meters long. Not only was the spacecraft itself enormous, but even the 4 lights, each nearly 2 meters in diameter, were striking. 3 of the lights at the bottom had extinguished, leaving only the central one flickering weakly with a dim blue glow. At that moment, without a sound, a hatch opened at the bottom of the spacecraft. A being clad in a tattered silver radiation suit and helmet, bloodied and battered, struggled to crawl out from the hatch. Upon witnessing this scene, the audience in the livestream erupted in excitement. Chapter 393, Harvesting time, and again. Remarkable Xiaoji, what the heck? An alien. This alien seems quite tall. It almost feels like a disguise. Who decreed that aliens must be short with large heads? Perhaps they really do look like this. Haha. I knew why Lin Shun went out in the middle of the night to watch the meteor shower. This script is confirmed. Honestly, even if it is scripted, it's quite impressive. Lin Shun has put in a lot of effort to entertain us in the middle of the night. That outfit looks great. Lin Shun, drop a link so I can get my wife to wear it for me. It would be so much fun. As the comments rolled in, Lin Shun charged forward and delivered a powerful kick to the man's head, causing him to collapse unconscious. Lin Shun pondered for a moment before addressing the livestream. I think I want to take everyone inside to see. What if we encounter something we shouldn't? My livestream might just end up being shut down. Upon hearing this, protests erupted in the comments. Just moments ago, he had promised to reveal everything. Yet now he was withholding the view at the doorstep. Many became even more convinced that everything tonight was an intricately crafted script by Lin Shun. It made sense. If this were indeed an extraterrestrial spacecraft and beings, the authorities would have intervened long ago to prohibit the livestream, rather than allowing things to unfold so quietly. It is highly likely that the visuals previously witnessed were merely a computer-generated effects video, while this alien spacecraft had long been transported here. A multitude of comments expressing sentiments of deception and scripted scenarios flooded the screen. Lin Shun broke into a smile. Sometimes, the interplay of truth and illusion incites far more engaging discussions. At that moment, several accounts began to reward the stream with hundreds or even thousands of carnival tokens. Subsequently, comments began to appear. A user named Crying Little Shrimp remarked, I am a netizen from the southern coast of Tang Country, deeply intrigued by the internal structure of this alien spacecraft. Could the streamer take us inside? There would surely be handsome rewards. Another user, Tang Person in Iloan, added, I have been residing overseas for many years and believe the spacecraft is real. If the streamer requires carnival tokens, I can send another 500 for a tour. A user named Love from the Abyss commented, everything is fake unless we are allowed to see inside. I shall contribute even more if that happens. Countless viewers from Tang Country, who had previously been vocal about the deception, fell silent and became pensive upon witnessing these substantial contributions and peculiar comments. Initially, the audience might have dismissed these individuals as mere jesters. However, the generous donations of hundreds and thousands of carnival tokens, accompanied by their odd comments, began to feel increasingly unsettling. Soon, the viewers erupted in excitement. No way. Could they all be walking 500,000? What on earth? The netizens from the southern coast. Are they all sporting Western features? Goodness gracious. The grammar in these comments is all over the place. It took me several readings to grasp their meaning. It seems evident that foreign intelligence agencies are in dire need of Mandarin speakers. Could it truly be an alien spacecraft? Otherwise, why would foreign intelligence be so impatient? Lin Shun is incredible. He was merely harvesting capital before, and now even foreign intelligence agencies are getting in on the act. Lin Shun noted the gifts and comments, feeling momentarily taken aback before chuckling. Thank you, mysterious netizens, for your gifts. How about this? If each of you sends me 1,000 carnival tokens, I will consider it. Upon hearing this, the comments section erupted with expressions of approval and amusement, such as 666, if one isn't enough, let us do it again. And is Lin Shun treating them like an ATM? Unexpectedly, some viewers indeed sent more tokens. Love from the Abyss has sent 1,000 carnival tokens. Tang Person in Iloan has sent 1,000 carnival tokens. The audience was left dumbfounded, bursting into laughter. Were these people truly naive, or did they have too much funding to spare? This seemed far too easy. Lin Shun merely smiled faintly, neglecting to thank the gifts. He instructed Xiaoji to keep watch outside and suddenly acted, stomping down on the limbs of the unconscious individual, shattering them with a sickening sound. The audience was left in shock, their disbelief palpable. The sound was all too real, and the alien's limbs had contorted grotesquely. Could this truly not be a scripted affair? As the viewers processed their astonishment, Lin Shun swiftly entered the cabin, disappearing from the live feed. Inside, before he could fully assess his surroundings, he suddenly dodged as a bullet struck the metallic wall. He advanced towards the shooter, who, clad in protective gear and with a broken leg, struggled to lean against the wall, gripping a handgun with a fierce determination in his eyes. Lin Shun picked up a steel rod that had fallen from somewhere and approached the individual, deftly evading 2 shots before striking the man's wrist and impaling him through the shoulder, pinning him against the wall. After incapacitating him, Lin Shun systematically found the remaining 3 individuals aboard the spacecraft. Among them, 2 had perished in the earlier crash, leaving one last man. bearing the features of a Tang national. Lin Chun had no intention of conversing with such a traitor. He similarly shattered the man's limbs and rendered him unconscious. At that moment, Xiao Zi's voice echoed in his ear. Dad, the forces from Caichi Nation are attempting to activate the self-destruct system of the spacecraft. But I have already taken control. Lin Chun smiled. Excellent work. In truth, prior to the violent descent of the spacecraft, he had discreetly instructed Xiao Zi to secure control. The foolishness of these individuals was evident as they projected his live stream onto the ship's screens, providing Xiao Zi with an opportunity to infiltrate. Thus, the spacecraft was destined to crash, and the communication with Caichi Nation was severed, all thanks to Xiao Zi's pivotal role. Xiao Zi continued, additionally, they have dispatched another identical spacecraft, intending to destroy this one before the Tang government can intervene while completing their initial mission. Lin Chen's eyes flickered with intrigue. Can you seize control of that spacecraft as well? Xiao Zi replied, that ship also projected Dad's live stream, allowing me to take over its control system. However, I have refrained from acting rashly. Should I alarm those inside and trigger the manual self-destruct, even I would be unable to prevent the explosion. Lin Chen pondered for a moment, asking, can this spacecraft still fly? Xiao Zi responded, yes, but part of its energy reserves has been damaged. It can only sustain flight for a maximum of 10 minutes. Without hesitation, Lin Chen retrieved his backup phone, powered it on, and dialed Zhong Wenzhou's number. The call connected immediately. Brother Zhong, when will the reinforcements arrive? I have allowed Xiao Zi to take control of the spacecraft. If you could provide a coordinate, I can direct it there. Zhong Wenzhou sounded astonished, then elated. Xiao Zi is brilliant. Give me a minute. I'll report back right away. Chapter 394. After all, it won't affect anyone's work. Let it self-destruct. In less than a minute, Zhong Wenzhou called back with a coordinate. Lin Chen acknowledged and hung up, telling Xiao Zi, it's your turn now. He then exited the cabin, where he found Li Ziao and the others nearby, their expressions filled with tension and apprehension. Upon seeing him, they collectively sighed in relief. The comments in the live stream surged with excitement. PS out. Was that gunfire we heard? How terrifying. I'm starting to think this is scripted. Do aliens even use guns? Lin Chen, please tell us what it was like inside. Don't ask. When they made the props, they only cleaned the exterior, and the inside is still a shell. Lin Chun dragged the unconscious individual, tossing him into the spacecraft. After pressing the button inside the cabin, the door closed. He beckoned the three women to step back. Mere seconds later, a scene that left the previously mocking viewers utterly stunned unfolded. The once dim lights at the bottom of the spacecraft suddenly illuminated. The blue lights in the center flashed brightly. The spacecraft, which had been tilted, swiftly corrected its posture and began to levitate. Following this, for lights, particularly the blue one in the center, blazed to life. And the spacecraft ascended rapidly. In the blink of an eye, it reached the cloud level and, with a gentle jolt, sped away at a velocity far exceeding that of conventional aircraft. The comments section erupted in silence, with 90% of the viewers left speechless. What was happening? Suddenly, the barrage of comments erupted with fervor. Is this really not a special effect? For those who claimed it was a special effect, come on, keep talking. I relish hearing it. Lin, please clarify what transpired after you entered. Why did the aliens manage to escape? I can make no sense of this. What is there to comprehend? The aliens have taken a liking to Lin. They came to extract essence, and Lin sacrificed himself for the peace of the entire planet. Lin Chen glanced at the comments and chuckled. Everyone, please refrain from wild speculation. Whether it's true or false, the existence of aliens doesn't affect our work tomorrow morning. Let us treat tonight as a scripted performance and get some rest. Such an explanation, of course, failed to satisfy the crowd, and inquiries continued unabated. However, Lin Chen chose not to elaborate further and led Li Ziao and the others back to the inn. As they approached the entrance, they noticed a crowd outside, including the innkeeper and other guests, all peering in their direction. Lin Chen quickly deduced the situation. The commotion from the fallen craft and the gunfire had roused them from their slumber. Upon spotting Lin Chen and his companions, the innkeeper and others were momentarily taken aback and immediately began to query them. Lin Chen, adopting a serious tone, explained, a UFO landed earlier, and we want to take a look. This statement elicited laughter from the guests. You can convince me about a meteorite, but UFOs? Those are mere tales for children. One remarked. Honestly, did it thunder just now? No one took Lin Chen's words seriously. After a flurry of chatter, the crowd dispersed, retreating to their rooms. Lin Chen and his companions returned to their quarters and resumed slumber. The live stream comments continued to scroll incessantly. Although the incident had seemingly reached a conclusion, it rapidly gained traction online, with Lin Chen's stream witnessing a surge in popularity. ignoring the live chat. He closed his eyes and quietly inquired about the second aircraft's whereabouts from Xiaoji. Xiaoji replied, "The people from Saichi country saw the first machine take off through Dad's live stream, and it has caused quite a stir. They have ultimately decided to cancel the original plan and have the second machine return." Upon hearing this, Lin Chen's expression darkened momentarily as he muttered, "Once the second machine reaches their base, let it self-destruct." Xiaoji responded affirmatively. Lin Chen chose not to dwell on it further and drifted into sleep. A short while later, in a desolate desert area, an unassuming triangular aircraft silently arrived at a designated coordinate. In the next moment, the ground trembled, and an underground entrance slowly opened. The aircraft descended quietly within, and as the entrance sealed shut, the surrounding sands resumed their stillness, restoring the original landscape. At 7:30 in the morning, Lin Chen awoke promptly. Emerging from his sleeping bag, he noticed Li Xiao and the others still in a deep slumber. After a brief wash-up, he quietly exited the room and descended to the lobby. The innkeeper, sporting dark circles under his eyes, approached Lin Chen with excitement, holding up his phone. "Brother, is this about you? Did you really see a UFO last night? Did you even go inside?" Lin Chen took the phone and found an official media report regarding the previous night's events. Accompanying images of the aircraft were taken directly from his live stream. To his surprise, the article mentioned T3 and even uncovered news images of T3s from around the world. Some netizens, through comparison, speculated that the entity Lin encountered might indeed be the long-rumored T3 model, a new type of anti-gravity aircraft from Saichi country. This could explain why the beings emerging from the downed craft resembled the so-called Blue Star people in both stature and attire, as well as why this aircraft had unexpectedly visited the region. Reports indicated that Lin Chen had recently upgraded his live streaming phone, which likely employed cutting-edge anti-gravity technology, potentially even more advanced than T3. One netizen suggested that perhaps due to the apprehension surrounding Tang's mastery of this technology, Saichi country secretly dispatched T3 to target Lin Chen, intending to carry out undisclosed actions, only to have their plans thwarted by an unforeseen thunderstorm that caused the craft to crash. As of now, Saichi country had yet to issue any form of statement regarding the incident. Lin Chen stared at the official media report, astonished. How could a netizen possess such insight into confidential matters? It was clear that the so-called netizen was a mere facade. The authorities were signaling their intent to disclose related information. Did this indicate a willingness to confront Saichi country head-on? Upon reflection, Lin Chen found the strategy rather clever. Secretly deploying an aircraft to infringe upon another nation's airspace, with intentions to abduct a high-ranking scientific academy member and seize advanced technology, such actions would be indefensible. Although Saichi country prided itself on being the world's foremost power, often engaging in shameless acts, they still sought to project themselves as the righteous party on the moral high ground. Acknowledging that the aircraft from last night belonged to them would leave them with no plausible deniability. However, the lack of acknowledgement would not matter, as nations worldwide were already aware of T3's existence within Saichi country. The media's sensational portrayal of the incident would circulate overseas, leading both foes and so-called allies of Saichi country to quietly revel in their misfortune. Simultaneously, it would prompt a re-evaluation of Tang's possession of advanced anti-gravity technology. From a future perspective, this situation would undoubtedly be advantageous for Tang. Many nations might soon consider reassessing their stances and alignments. Chapter 395, The Frantic Zhong Wenzhou. Explosive news. Global Shock Lin Chen noted that in the report, his primary identity was not as a streamer, but rather as a member of the High-Tech Academy and the largest shareholder of the Quafu Group. This undoubtedly elevated his standing and lent credibility to the article's contents. However, those in power had overlooked that his most pertinent identity was, in fact, that of a streamer. With this thought, Lin Chen could no longer remain still. After returning the phone to the innkeeper, he exited the inn, muted the live stream, and dialed Zhong Wenzhou on a backup phone. After a few rings, the call connected, and Zhong Wenzhou's weary voice greeted him. "Lin, what is the matter?" Feeling somewhat guilty, Lin Chen replied, "Zhong, did you not sleep again last night?" Zhong Wenzhou sighed. "What do you think? You finish your business and go to sleep, while I've been on high alert all night. Saichi country nearly went mad. 6 individuals escaped during the night. Just tell me what you need. I have several prisoners to interrogate." Clearing his throat, Lin Chen spoke with some embarrassment. "I just woke up and saw the news. I was wondering if you could ask the higher-ups to include my live stream room number in the reports about last night's incident." Zhong Wenzhou was momentarily rendered speechless. Then, he erupted, "How obsessed are you with your live stream? You're already the king of popularity online. Is that not enough for you? Does fame truly hold such significance for you? After several seconds of silence, Zhong Wenzhou finally responded, "Fine. You probably realize that this is an invisible confrontation. The news will be reported across the internet and television. They can even have the host read your live stream room number 3 times. Will that suffice?" Lin Chen quickly expressed his gratitude. Zhong Wenzhou swiftly shifted the topic, lowering his voice as he said, "I just received some news. Over in the colorful Flag Nation. They dispatched a second T3 last night, which later returned. Upon arriving back at their secret base, an explosion of unknown origin suddenly occurred. The colorful Flag Nation has suffered significant losses, triggering a series of explosions. It said that even the chamber where T3 research materials were stored was affected, with a fire consuming all the documents." Lin Chen's eyes brightened as he replied, "That's wonderful news." Zhong Wenzhou's voice carried a hint of amusement. "Indeed. It is favorable for us. With this shift in power, the colorful Flag Nation will surely refrain from their previous arrogance." Though Zhong Wenzhou did not directly state it, Lin Chen could discern that he was probing for information, seeking to ascertain whether he was implicated in this incident. Naturally, Lin Chen would not confess to anything. After exchanging a few trivial pleasantries, they concluded the call. Lin Chen then perused the news on his phone. Indeed, the reports on the UFO incident from the previous night were overwhelming, with both official media and independent outlets covering it extensively. The articles and videos garnered significant views and comments. On Weibo, the topic had even surged to the top of the trending list late into the night. Anchor Lin Chen battles UFOs in the dead of night. What genius concocted such a headline? Upon reviewing the comments, Lin Chen noted that a considerable number of people remained skeptical about the authenticity of the UFO, suspecting it was merely a publicity stunt. Last time it was a flying off-road vehicle, and now they've even conjured up a UFO. Is there truly no limit to today's live broadcasts? It must be fake. If it were real, why didn't he bring the live streaming phone inside to check it out? What is there to discuss? There are no aliens in this world. It's fake. Case closed. I must admit, Lin Chen truly knows how to generate traffic. Why is he in the news every day? I scroll through the news, and it's all about him. Underneath these comments, a multitude of Lin Chen's fans, along with UFO enthusiasts, began to engage in spirited debate. The discussions escalated quickly, as official media gradually chimed in, revealing the existence of the T3 and subtly directing blame towards the colorful Flag Nation. The tide began to shift. Particularly in the related reports, a semi-confirmation emerged regarding Lin Chen's development of advanced anti-gravity technology, which ignited a whirlwind of speculation and discussion. Many who had previously doubted the incident's authenticity found themselves rendered speechless. The official media was engrossed in debating whether the flying object was indeed a T3, without questioning the event's veracity, which was sufficient evidence that a UFO crash had indeed transpired the previous night. The craft was either an extraterrestrial artifact or a vehicle sent by the colorful Flag Nation to abduct Lin Chen. There was no third possibility. In that moment, countless individuals felt a chill, vaguely sensing the undercurrents hidden beneath the facade of peace and tranquility. With a sense of certainty, Lin Chen exited the news interface, unmuted Xiaoji, and glanced at the live streaming room. To his surprise, despite it being barely 8 in the morning, the viewer count had surged to an astonishing 19 million. The barrage of comments scrolled by so quickly that he could hardly keep up. Countless onlookers clamored for information on the previous night's events. Lin God is amazing. What did I miss? Lin God, did you confront aliens after entering the UFO? No need to ask, whatever happened. It's all the same. Aliens have double eyelids, and Lin God went in there shooting wildly, scaring the aliens off in their UFO. So frustrating. Had I known such a grand event would unfold, I would have submitted my assignment without hesitation last night. Wow, the above comment is brilliant. Could it be the fabled mountain-dwelling caveman submitted assignments with their scalp? I saw in the news that it was a flying vehicle from the colorful Flag Nation. Come to abduct you, is that true? Lin God, have you really developed anti-gravity technology? The excitement was palpable. Lin Chen observed the barrage for a few seconds before smiling and saying, I have indeed developed some technology related to anti-gravity, which has already been applied to Xiaoji. The relevant technology has been submitted, so please stay tuned. As for the rest, I truly cannot say. Let us rely on official statements. With this declaration, a flood of comments erupted in the chat, including countless, understood, a secret, is it? Implying the official statement is true. The colorful Flag Nation is indeed wicked. Too advanced to showcase, and similar sentiments. Countless individuals were filled with excitement. Lin Chen remained silent, yet it seemed as though he had said everything. Merely the revelation of anti-gravity technology was enough to ignite fervor. Consequently, The affluent patrons lurking in the live-streaming room began generously showering gifts. And a flurry of rockets and celebratory confetti filled the screen. Furthermore, Lin Chen's response was rapidly disseminated by numerous independent media bloggers, creating an even greater sensation. After waiting in the lobby for a moment, groups of visitors began to descend. They had all seen the news and excitedly surrounded Lin Chen, clamoring for photographs. Shortly thereafter, Li Xiao and others also came downstairs. As they ate breakfast while scrolling through the news, their gazes toward Lin Chen had shifted. Simultaneously, they felt a twinge of apprehension. They realized just how perilous the previous night had been. Had it not been for that bolt of lightning, Lin Chen could very well have found himself in the colorful Flag Nation. Just as everyone finished their breakfast and prepared to pack their belongings and check out, 5 impeccably dressed individuals entered through the inn's front door. Some appeared to be bodyguards, while others seemed like business elites. Among these 5 stood a relatively petite young woman, with single eyelids and light makeup. Although young, she emanated a formidable presence. Upon spotting Lin Chen and the others preparing to ascend the stairs, her eyes lit up, and she immediately approached them. Upon reaching them, she performed a formal bow and said, "Hello, Mr. Lin. I am Zheng Peina from the 5-Star Group." Chapter 396, Zheng Peina's Terms. Lin Chen's decision. Zheng Peina? Li Xiao gasped. Yi Xiaoxi was equally taken aback, her scrutinizing gaze fixed on Zheng Peina. Recently, the internal affairs of the 5-Star Group had stirred considerable commotion, and she had certainly heard of Zheng Peina's name. Rumors circulated that the Zheng family, father and sons, were all hospitalized. And this very woman was the mastermind behind it all. Lin Chen, however, remained remarkably composed. He had long anticipated Zheng Peina's arrival. Zheng Peina looked much like her photographs. Despite her travel, she appeared well-rested and not at all haggard. However, it was somewhat unexpected that she spoke in the Tang language. He promptly turned to Li Xiao and Shuer, saying, "You two go upstairs and pack your things. I'll chat with her along with Sister Shi." Li Xiao and Shuer exchanged glances and nodded before heading upstairs. Lin Chen then addressed Zheng Peina. "Miss Zheng, shall we discuss this outside?" With that, he moved toward the exit. Yi Xiaoxi followed closely behind and whispered, "Why has she come to find you?" Lin Chen replied as they walked, "How would I know? Let's see what she has to say." Meanwhile, the live-streaming room was in an uproar. Wow, this Zheng Peina, could she really be the new head of the 5-Star Group? I checked the pictures. It's definitely her. My goodness, why is the head of the 5-Star Group here to find Lin God? What does she want? Previously, the 5-Star Group accused Lin God of stealing their designs. Could she be here to pick a fight? No need to speculate. It surely can't be anything good, either coercion or inducement. As the comments continued to flood in, the group arrived at an open area near the inn. Zheng Peina glanced curiously at the live-streaming phone hovering silently and said, "Mr. Lin, could you please turn off the live stream so we can talk?" Lin Chen shook his head and said, "I am the host. There's no need to end the broadcast. Let's mute it for a while." Zheng Peina nodded in agreement. Lin Chen then addressed the audience in the live stream. "Dear viewers, I have a discussion to conduct with Zheng Peina, so we'll be on mute for a short time." Most viewers expressed their understanding. Before Lin Chen could speak further, Xiao Zhi had already muted the broadcast. Lin Chen turned to Zheng Peina, remarking, "I didn't realize that Miss Zheng spoke Tang language so fluently." Zheng Peina smiled lightly and replied, "I have always admired Tang culture. During my studies in the colorful Flag Nation, I specifically enrolled in Tang language courses, which allowed me to forge many friendships with people from Tang." Her demeanor shifted as she bowed respectfully to Lin Chen, stating earnestly, "First, on behalf of the 5-Star Group, I sincerely apologize to you, Mr. Lin. The previous statement issued by the 5-Star Group was hasty, and if it caused you any inconvenience, I hope you can forgive us." Lin Chen chuckled, "Miss Zheng, you are being overly formal. It's just a minor issue. There's no need for an apology, as I wouldn't hold a grudge." Upon hearing this, Zheng Peina initially smiled, but the latter part of his statement caused her expression to stiffen. After taking a deep breath, she said, "Mr. Lin, I genuinely wish to resolve the conflict between you and the 5-Star Group." Lin Chen smiled lightly. "Oh, should I feel flattered? Or perhaps I should express my gratitude." Noticing Zheng Peina was about to speak again, he waved his hand and said, "Let us not dwell on that. It's rather tedious. Miss Zheng, please reveal your true intentions. Don't be fooled by my demeanor. I am quite busy." Beside them, Yi Xiaoxi couldn't help but chuckle softly, casting a playful glance at Lin Chen. This man is too mischievous. Is busy really the term to use here? Zheng Peina hesitated for a moment before responding. "Since you put it that way, I'll be direct. To be frank, I'm here to propose a collaboration between you and the Quafu Group. I hope you can lift the technological embargo on the 5-Star Group and authorize the use of relevant patents, including batteries, For our products? Lin Chen inquired. What is the rationale behind this? Zheng Peina replied earnestly, I am willing to offer 2% of the 5-star group's shares in exchange for the relevant authorizations. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen remained composed, but Yi Xiaoxi gasped in astonishment. What does 2% of the 5-star group's shares signify? With 3 Fortune 500 companies under its belt, the 5-star group generates over 20% of the annual GDP of the Mida nation. While 2% might seem insignificant, the monetary equivalent is undeniably astronomical, a veritable money-printing machine. And all Zheng Peina sought was to lift the technological embargo and gain authorization for Quafu Group's patented products. Moreover, she made this audacious proposal before Quafu Group had even launched any tangible products. It was unimaginable how much of a sensation this would cause worldwide if it were to become public knowledge. In that instant, Yi Xiaoxi looked at Zheng Peina with newfound respect. This woman, who had graduated from university merely 2 years prior, possessed formidable business acumen. Among the group of suited men beside Zheng Peina, 2 of them displayed visible shock, clearly taken aback that she would present such a gambit without board approval. To relinquish shares, especially to someone from the Tang nation. Should this come to fruition, it would create chaos within the 5-star group. And even across the entirety of Mida and the colorful flag nation. They glanced at Zheng Peina, hesitating to speak. Zheng Peina's focus remained fixed on Lin Chen, her palms sweating profusely, revealing her inner tension. After contemplating for several seconds, Lin Chen said, I see your sincerity, Miss Zheng. However, regrettably, I must decline. Zheng Peina's eyes widened as she pressed, Why? If you find the offer insufficient, we can continue negotiations. Even more? The faces of the 2 men from the 5-star group turned crimson. Lin Chen shook his head, It's not a matter of money. Zheng Peina, unwilling to relent, asked, Then what is it? Lin Chen gazed deeply into her eyes and replied, When the Mida nation ceases to act like a dog, we can discuss collaboration. At these words, silence enveloped the room. Yi Xiaoxi's gaze towards Lin Chen became laden with emotion. The more she interacted with this man, the more she felt like a moth drawn to a flame. His visage, his intellect, his lofty ideals, his charisma, everything about him captivated her to an overwhelming degree. She felt an urge to make him hers by any means necessary. Zheng Peina's eyelids fluttered as she stared at Lin Chen, her heart a tumult of shock, disappointment, and respect. She realized she had come in vain. This man could not be swayed by mere interests. Thus, the 5-star group should prepare for the worst. Just as she was about to speak, a bespectacled man abruptly stood up, unable to contain himself as he chastised in somewhat awkward Tang. Mr. Lin, please watch your words. Even if you do not wish to cooperate, you cannot use such language to insult our Mida nation. Lin Chen looked at the man in confusion and asked, What did I say wrong? Suddenly realizing, he sincerely stated, I apologize. I should not have used dog to describe the Mida nation, as that would be an insult to dogs. A nation that is nearly devoid of sovereignty is, to put it bluntly, less than a dog. Zheng Peina could not help but change her expression, Mr. Lin. You are being rather excessive. Lin Chen waved his hand dismissively. Enough. We are merely incompatible. Let us part ways as we came. Don't waste my time. Zheng Peina, suppressing her turmoil, stated gravely, Mr. Lin, it is regrettable that we cannot reach a collaboration. From today onward, we are enemies. And I will do my utmost to defeat you. Enemies? Lin Chen felt a surge of delight, responding with a smile. Hearing you say that reassures me. Henceforth, when we cast curses at each other, there will be no psychological burden. Zheng Peina was taken aback, her heart racing inexplicably. Sensing something was amiss, but unable to pinpoint what. As she prepared to leave, she glanced at the live streaming phone not far away. The groundbreaking technology was tantalizingly close yet unattainable, and its existence within that phone could potentially deliver a fatal blow to the 5-star group. Complex emotions flickered in Zheng Peina's eyes as she remarked, Is this Mr. Lin's live streaming phone? Truly incredible. Lin Chen merely smiled in response. Zheng Peina chose to say nothing further, signaling her companions to board the 2 business vehicles parked a few meters away. Suddenly, Lin Chen called out, Wait. As Zheng Peina turned around, Lin Chen strode directly toward the bespectacled man. The man's expression shifted to one of nervousness. What are you doing? Without a word, Lin Chen seized the glasses from the man's face before he could react. As the man's face changed, he instinctively reached out to reclaim them. But Lin Chen kicked him away 3 meters. Everyone around stood in astonishment as Lin Chen donned the glasses, revealing they were infrared thermal imaging glasses, displaying people and objects in a thermal format. Not only that, but these glasses possessed an enhanced perspective capability beyond ordinary thermal imaging glasses. Lin Chen turned to the bewildered Zheng Peina. Zheng Peina, initially frozen in shock, suddenly realized something. With a gasp, her face flushed crimson as she instinctively crouched down, hugging her knees. The man who was kicked away, upon witnessing the scene, realized he had been exposed. His expression twisted in horror as he began to shout in the Mida language. The other 4 men in suits changed their expressions simultaneously, their faces now filled with malice as they surged towards Lin Chun. One of them even pulled a metallic pen from his pocket, twisting open the cap before pressing a button, causing a blade the length of a finger to spring forth. He lunged at Lin Chen's abdomen with it. Zheng Peina gasped in shock. Yi Xiaoxi's face also paled. The bullet screen in the live stream erupted. What the hell? These Mida people have gone insane. Quickly report to the security bureau. They are killing people. The 5-star group is killing people. Lin Chun, get out of the way. When Lin Chun suddenly kicked out moments ago, everyone had been taken aback. No one expected the members of the 5-star group to turn on Lin Chun and even resort to knives. Countless viewers watching the live stream felt their scalps tingle with fear. In a flash, Lin Chun let out a cold chuckle. He reached out and seized the wrist of the burly man wielding the knife, twisting it back, causing the blade to pierce into the man's shoulder. Before the man could even scream in agony, Lin Chun delivered a sharp kick to his calf. Crack! The bone shattered, breaking through flesh. The man fell to the ground, howling in pain, without any unnecessary movements. With each kick Lin Chun delivered, another man fell with a broken leg. He advanced directly towards the bespectacled man from earlier. The man was filled with terror, scrambling backward. Lin Chun smiled. What are you afraid of? I won't harm you. As he spoke, he accidentally stepped on the man's ankle, resulting in a catastrophic fracture. The man instantly screamed and rolled on the ground, tears streaming down his face in pain. Lin Chun ignored Zheng Peina, pulling out his spare phone, preparing to call Li Yuan. Suddenly, 3 vehicles from the security bureau appeared out of nowhere, racing towards the scene. Upon seeing this, Lin Chun tucked away his phone and instructed Xiao Ji to fly further away, ensuring the camera did not capture Li Yuan and the others. Once the vehicles stopped, Li Yuan and 6 fully armed personnel from the security bureau emerged, brandishing either handguns or submachine guns, all with the safeties off. The barrels were quickly aimed at the heads of the 5 men lying on the ground as they swiftly donned rose gold handcuffs. Li Yuan hurried over to Lin Chun. Anxiety etched on his face. Director Lin, are you hurt? Lin Chun shook his head and waved at Xiao Ji. The live streaming phone flew back into his hands. Lin Chun instructed Xiao Ji to unmute the device and showcase the glasses to the camera. Dear viewers, let me present to you a marvelous gadget. High-tech glasses that can see through objects. You should now be able to see the underlying structures through infrared thermal imaging. As he spoke, he aimed the glasses at Zheng Peina. Look, you can see that Zheng Peina is wearing a high-neck sweater beneath her coat, adorned with a bear pattern. Impressive, isn't it? He continued. There's a knob on the temple of the glasses that can adjust the transparency intensity. With just a twist, we can delve deeper to see what she's wearing underneath. Zheng Peina was horrified, repeatedly exclaiming in distress. She attempted to step back behind Yi Xiaoxi, but was seized by one of the security bureau personnel, a gun pressed against her head. Her complexion turned pale as she gazed at Lin Chun in terror. She was aware of the popularity of Lin Chun's live stream. If over 100 million people were to witness her most private moments, both she and the 5-star group would become the laughingstock of the world. Lin Chun merely intended to frighten her. After his demonstration, he handed the glasses to Li Yuan and addressed the live stream. Now you all understand why I acted so decisively, right? The 5-star group's members were insincere, pretending to discuss cooperation while secretly using these glasses to spy on the internal structure of my live streaming phone, collecting data. This has already violated Article 219 of the criminal law, infringing on commercial secrets, which carries a sentence of up to 3 years in prison for serious offenses. And for particularly severe cases, one could face 3 to 10 years in prison. Moreover, after I uncovered their scheme, they still attempted to murder me. Fortunately, I have trained for such encounters and successfully acted in self-defense. The charge of attempted murder, which I have previously explained several times, carries a minimum sentence of 10 years with life imprisonment as the maximum. As his words fell, Li Yuan's cold voice interjected, not only that, but they also committed the crime of stealing national secrets, which could lead to a sentence of 3 to 7 years for serious offenses. Multiple charges will lead to a lifetime behind bars. Upon hearing this, the live stream comments exploded. Chapter 398. Be more cautious in your endeavors. Goodness. Early in the morning. Lin Chun is already making such a big move. Sending a few more to jail? Lin Chun is incredible. Today's performance has reached the standard. However, speaking of which, those from the Mango Factory did the same, trying to install listening devices on Lin Chun. The 5-star group has taken it a step further with their high-tech methods. What a disgrace. The Mida people are habitual offenders. They want to steal everything from our Tang country. Ha ha ha. Thanks to the Mida folks for delivering themselves. Lin Shun has truly revealed himself this time, taking down 5 opponents single-handedly. Yet he claims he has no martial arts skills. Apart from those glasses, I care for nothing else. They are astonishing. Where can I buy them online? Lin Shun is not human. He put them on first, hogging the view of Zheng Peina. Yet we only get a glimpse. Wow, is high-tech really this amazing now? Walking down the street would be a dream. Forget walking. Wearing it on the subway is where true power lies, allowing for detailed observation. Just don't let those from the Guai country see it. They might come up with a dozen ways to exploit it. The comments surged with fervor. In the end, a group of viewers began discussing the glasses and their remarkable uses. At that moment, Lin Shun approached Zheng Peina, who appeared pale and trembling like a frightened puppy. Clearly, she was overwhelmed by the potential consequences of her exposure. Seeing Lin Shun approach, Zheng Peina's voice trembled. Mr. Lin, if I claimed that I was completely unaware of this situation, would you believe me? Lin Shun grinned. Of course, I believe you. You are quite clever. You intended to obtain authorization from me without any investment, then use that authorization to silence the board members. Such a bold move, but if successful, it would greatly benefit you, securing your position within the 5-star group. Unfortunately, you were too presumptuous. Did you not investigate me before coming here? If you truly understood me, you would not have harbored any hopes for this collaboration. Similarly, certain individuals within the 5-star group had no expectations of you either. They did not stop you from coming to Tang country, but rather played along, hoping to illegally obtain some of my live streaming phone's technical secrets. Failing is inconsequential. As the leader of this trip to Tang country, the blame ultimately falls on you. Even if you manage to clear your name and return to Mida, do you think you can still hold on to your position as the head of the 5-star group? Little girl, you have been manipulated. In the future, be more cautious in your endeavors. With every word Lin Shun spoke, Zheng Peina's complexion paled further until she could barely stand. The viewers in the live stream also heard his words, and the comments erupted once more. What the hell? Lin Shun seems to have revealed something significant. Was Zheng Peina trying to obtain authorization from Lin Shun? A patent license? What a joke. From Lin Shun's words, it seems Zheng Peina has been deceived. Is the business world this ruthless? The atmosphere above is rather juvenile. The marketplace resembles a battlefield, and some major corporations, driven by self-interest, have frequently sent individuals into such frays. One cannot help but feel a degree of sympathy for Zheng Peina. She is too inexperienced to contend with those seasoned veterans. Indeed, this world is rife with treachery. My wife, in her pursuit of divorce, even enlisted her friend to seduce me. Fortunately, I had already secured that friend, or else I would have fallen into her trap. In truth, Lin Shun finds Zheng Peina's naivety somewhat pitiable and deliberately articulates these thoughts in the live stream, harboring a small desire for her to return and engage in a fierce struggle with the elders of the 5-star group. Zheng Peina gazes intently at Lin Shun and remarks, Mr. Lin, I have learned much. Lin Shun gestures dismissively, considering that the bespectacled fellow might insist that Zheng Peina had orchestrated the event, leaving her fate in the Mida nation uncertain. Soon, under the watchful eyes of Lin Shun and Yi Xiaoxi, Zheng Peina and her entourage are escorted onto the vehicles of the town security office. As the vehicles depart, Yi Xiaoxi, her expression filled with complexity, states, Zheng Peina is indeed quite unfortunate. Lin Shun responds with a faint smile, people perish for wealth, just as birds die for food. She is merely pursuing her own interests, ultimately outmatched. He then turns to return to the inn, just in time to see Li Xiao and Xuer descending with their luggage, oblivious to the recent events. During checkout, Yi Xiaoxi recounts the earlier incident, causing their faces to pale in shock. They rush to check on Lin Shun, relieved to find he is unharmed. Lin Shun has not dwelled on the earlier events. Once the checkout procedures are completed, he and the women set off once more. The journey continues amidst the hustle and bustle of traffic and clouds of dust. In the livestream chat, viewers passionately discuss the previous night's UFO incident and the 5-star group. After more than an hour, the viewership peaks at an unprecedented 200 million. Shortly thereafter, a message appears in the chat. A major incident has occurred. The International Propaganda Office of Caichi has released a statement acknowledging that last night's UFO was a new type of aircraft from Caichi. They demand the release of the personnel on board. Furthermore, they assert that the operation's objective was to investigate Lin Shun for allegedly stealing Caichi's anti-gravity technology, demanding that Tang Nation surrender him for inquiry. Upon this revelation, the chat erupts in chaos. Countless viewers abandon the live stream to seek news on the matter. Soon, the chat is ablaze with reactions. Unbelievable. Caichi has the audacity to admit such a thing? This is an outright violation of our airspace. How shameless to claim that Lin Chen stole their technology. Let's not forget Mida, which previously accused Lin Chen of design theft, only for Zheng Peina to come begging for authorization. I, Lin Chen, walked the path of 318 on foot, without even a computer. Am I supposed to have stolen their technology through telepathy? Last night was clearly an abduction attempt. The person above is right. I telepathically stole the spokesperson's wife last night. And it was quite delightful. The chat can only be described as a fervent uproar. Many viewers are outraged, feeling that Saichi views them as fools. They had ulterior motives to abduct Lin Chen, and now twist the narrative to claim he stole their technology, demanding his extradition to Saichi. Such brazen audacity is unparalleled globally. Only Saichi could conceive of such an act. Chapter 399, Lin Chen's Fury. The Black Technology cloud strikes back upon seeing the chat. Lin Chen pauses momentarily before retrieving his backup phone to access the video from Saichi's International Propaganda Office. After watching, he can't help but chuckle in disbelief. Saichi has entirely appropriated the absurdity of the situation. Their blatant disregard for facts and inversion of truth is beyond comprehension, revealing a complete loss of shame. Considering the motivation behind Saichi's actions, he deduces that the issue stems from the second T-3 aircraft, with one captured by Tang Nation and the other self-destructed. Obliterating all research data, Saichi likely weighed the pros and cons before reluctantly acknowledging that the aircraft was theirs. Lacking research materials, Saichi would find it nearly impossible to reconstruct a T-3. Thus, they must reclaim the one held by Tang Nation. Moreover, in a bold move, they accuse Lin Chen of stealing their anti-gravity technology, fabricating a justification for their incursion into Tang's airspace to occupy the moral high ground. Driven by indignation, Lin Chen addresses the livestream audience with a smile. Ladies and gentlemen, does this not exemplify the saying, walking along the path, a pot falls from the sky? Saichi claims I pilfered their technology. If that is the case, at the very least, shouldn't they provide evidence of a device the size of my live streaming phone to lend credence to their assertions? He continues, furthermore, I had no intention of proving myself in this manner, but since Saichi is so shameless, allow me to mention a few innovations. Remote wireless energy transmission, curvature engines, artificial wormholes, antimatter bombs, and gravity cannons. Can anyone guess if I can make any of these a reality? If I succeed, will Saichi then accuse me of stealing their technology? As these words escape his lips, the 200 million viewers fall silent, the once rolling chat abruptly ceasing. Countless individuals are left stunned by Lin Chen's bold declaration. Moments later, the chat explodes with excitement. No way. Lin Chen, are you joking? Is this for real? Aren't these concepts straight out of science fiction? Can you truly bring them to life? Wireless energy transmission is just wireless charging, right? That already exists. But curvature engines and artificial wormholes are beyond belief. The person above is mistaken. Lin Chen is referring to remote wireless energy transmission over hundreds or thousands of kilometers, which is an entirely different matter. The other concepts may be plausible, but antimatter bombs and gravity cannons sound terrifying. Good heavens. Lin Chen's words evoke memories of the time Guanglin Media claimed they would dominate the top 10. Ha ha ha, should we thank Saichi in advance? If it weren't for their slander against Lin Chen, he might not have been motivated to delve into black technology research. Thank you, Saichi. Simultaneously, the staff at the High Tech Institute, monitoring Lin Chen's livestream, exchange glances, their excitement palpable. They cannot ascertain whether Lin Chen is intentionally bluffing Saichi. However, what if he is genuine? Lin Chen defies conventional expectations. Just consider the case of Jing Qiuyu and Gu Feifei's trip to Badong County. They never imagined that Lin Chen's promise to upgrade the livestream phone would result in the creation of an astonishing anti-gravity device. Upon their return, the entire institute was abuzz, with even the director personally commending Jing Qiuyu and others, preemptively reserving spots for next year's academic accolades. Most unfortunate is Du Gao, who, due to his own actions, missed the chance to witness history. Upon learning the truth, he has been left in a daze, unable to regain his composure. Not to mention, any one of the technologies Lin Chen mentioned could secure next year's Nobel Prize, particularly if curvature engines and artificial wormholes materialize. Saichi may find themselves unable to sleep at night. An urgent report is imperative. The staff at the High Tech Institute immediately grabbed their phones to relay the situation. Soon, the higher-ups at the institute are shaken. Across the ocean, staring at Lin Chen's live broadcast, the officials from the Qingqi Goan were rendered speechless as they comprehended the meaning of his words through translation software. In the ensuing silence, a man, visibly terrified, cried out, "Quick! Report immediately. Shortly thereafter, a transcript of Lin Chen's statements appeared in a military conference room. Impossible. It must be a fabrication. How could he possibly have developed such things on his own? Indeed, the potential of a single individual is inherently limited. Even a genius must have boundaries. This is madness. This fellow must be insane to utter such claims. Amidst the clamor, disbelief reigned, as none were willing to accept that Lin Chen could actualize any of those advanced technologies. At that moment, an elderly man, with a composed demeanor, rapped his fingers on the table and spoke with piercing intensity. Let us not forget that this young man from Tang Nation has already developed groundbreaking battery technology, as well as anti-gravity technology more advanced than ours. Who can guarantee that he cannot bring forth these scientific advancements? The disputants fell silent upon hearing this. The elder sighed, continuing, "Perhaps we have made a grave error in our decision. Our declaration may have inadvertently awakened a slumbering tiger. At this juncture, we must brace ourselves for the worst. Today's meeting shall focus on one theme: how to prevent this individual from being utilized by Tang Nation, or how to ensure his permanent disappearance from Blue Star." Lin Chen was not merely attempting to intimidate the Qingqi Goen. He was too disinterested to delve into the research of those advanced technologies himself. With a popularity rating exceeding 200 million, he could easily exchange for any desired black technology from the system's marketplace. He simply called out in his mind, "System, I wish to exchange for the data on remote wireless energy transmission technology." System ding. Remote wireless energy transmission technology, a method of transmitting energy in quantum state without loss over long distances. The required popularity value is 2 million. Please confirm if you wish to proceed with the exchange. Lin Chen promptly replied, "Confirm. System, exchange successful." Detailed information on remote wireless energy transmission technology has been issued to the host's backpack in the form of a portable hard drive. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen immediately removed his backpack, unzipped it, and rummaged inside to retrieve a palm-sized portable hard drive. He displayed it before the camera, smiling as he remarked, "If I were to say that this contains one of the aforementioned advanced technologies, would you believe me? Look, Qingqi Goen officials, the evidence is right here. Are you envious? Do you covet it? If you have the capability, come and seize it." At this proclamation, the live chat exploded with fervor. Wow, is Lin Chen for real? This is too casual. Just casually pulling out a portable hard drive, as if it contains black technology? This is utterly unbelievable. But if Qingqi Goen sees this, they might just lose it. Seriously, if you have the guts, come and take it. Qingqi Goen is going to be furious. By the way, could last night's UFO incident have been related to this hard drive? It can't be the data for the curvature engine, can it? If that technology is realized, the solar system would be like a deserted wasteland. I want the X-ray glasses. X-ray glasses. I just want X-ray glasses. Seriously, at this moment, you're still thinking about X-ray glasses? Lin Chen wouldn't he really have X-ray glasses, would he? Countless viewers were left agape. What on earth is in that backpack? Is it Doraemon's pocket or something? How can it hold everything? If this were such a crucial item, wouldn't he worry about it getting damaged in the rain? Just then, Brother Yu Hang sent 20 carnival gifts. Brother Yu Hang, no wonder I couldn't find it when I got back. Lin Gu, how did my study materials end up with you? As soon as this gift and comment appeared, the multitude of viewers, previously immersed in shock and anticipation, erupted into laughter. Wow, Brother Yu Hang, are you joking or being serious? I'm almost convinced. So it's Brother Yu Hang's hard drive, but it still contains valuable items. Brother Yu Hang, I've sent you a private message. I'm not asking for much, but the website has been down lately, and I just want a few good seeds. Lin Chen is amazing. I almost believed your outrageous claims. Lin Chen's expression darkened. What nonsense is this? I'm discussing serious matters here. So please refrain from causing a ruckus. Viewers, what I say is true. There is indeed black technology within. Soon, someone will arrive in a fighter jet to collect it. Ha ha ha. The more Lin Chen speaks, the more believable it becomes. Fighter jets are coming? Is it really that impressive? I believe. I truly believe now. Stuff it in. I'll stuff it in, all right. Break it open. I'll break it open, okay? Swallow it. I'll swallow it, fine? The barrage of comments was lively. Lin Chen's face grew increasingly grim, as the atmosphere had been thoroughly disrupted by Brother Yu Hang's antics. Frustrated, he declared, "Believe it or not, it's up to you." He then retrieved his spare phone and stepped aside to call Zhong Wenzhou. The line connected immediately. Zhong Wenzhou's voice trembled as he spoke. "Lin Dad. Lin Chen, is it really study materials, or rather, the black technologies you mentioned?" Lin Chen looked up, about to express his astonishment, when a large truck passed by, sending clouds of dust into the air. He coughed a couple of times and said, "There's no choice. Qingqi Goen is pressing too hard, and I must bring out something substantial." Zhong Wenzhou gasped, What Black technology? Lin Chen replied. Remote wireless energy transmission technology, theoretically capable of near-zero loss during transmission. In the future, we could sell our electricity directly to the African continent. At this revelation, Zhong Wenzhou felt chills run down his spine. His heart racing with a sharp pang. He grabbed a can of energy drink and gulped it down. At that moment, he felt that all the sleepless nights he had endured were worth it. Serving someone like Lin Chen, even if it led to his untimely demise, was a small price to pay. However, Lin Chen's breadth of knowledge was astonishing. He even delved into energy transmission. Zhong Wenzhou immediately said, I need to report this. After finishing the call, he dialed Lin Chen again a minute later. Zhong Wenzhou informed him, just like last time at the old Capitol Bridge, they will send fighter jets directly to collect it. Furthermore, they stated that this technology belongs personally to you, and the national grid will negotiate cooperation with you separately, ensuring you won't suffer any losses. At this point, Zhong Wenzhou sighed. Lin Gu, you may not realize, but currently, wired energy transmission incurs nearly a 20% loss from the power plant to households. Moreover, various high-voltage lines, transformers, substations, and extensive human and material resources for maintenance contribute to astronomical costs. Once your proposed wireless energy transmission network is established, the savings in energy loss as well as human and material resources are immeasurable. Especially during natural disasters, the benefits will be even more pronounced. Your contribution will be monumental, and humanity worldwide should erect a monument in your honor. Lin Chen chuckled softly. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm still here. Zhong Wenzhou laughed as well. Lin Gu, I feel you are getting closer to the title of world's richest person. Such words were not mere jest. In this era, whoever holds the key to energy wields the power of the age, even without mentioning anti-gravity technology. Just the thermal semi-fluid battery and the current remote wireless energy transmission technology are enough to ensure Lin Chen's prosperity. Theoretically, wherever electricity is needed, Lin Chen's technology could be employed, necessitating payment of patent fees. Even Zhong Wenzhou could hardly fathom how much Lin Chen could earn in a single day. Lin Chen merely smiled upon hearing those words and ended the call. He was not at all concerned that the higher-ups would disadvantage him in their collaboration. After all, they must still be mindful of the curvature engine and artificial wormhole technology. It would be absurd to leave him wanting while they themselves prospered in the future. He then returned to the live stream, addressing the audience. Dear viewers, I have made the call, and soon a fighter jet will arrive to retrieve the materials. Let us find a spacious place to sit and wait. After saying this, he beckoned to Yi Xiaoxi and the others, who had been stunned since the beginning, leading them away from the national highway and up onto a meadow where they settled in a clearing. Yi Xiaoxi leaned closer and whispered, Are you serious? Will a fighter jet really come? Li Xiao and Schwer also stared at Lin Chen, unblinking. Lin Chen chuckled lightly. I'm no longer pretending. I am indeed the most brilliant scientific genius of this century. Upon hearing this, countless viewers in the live stream reacted with skepticism. Oh wow. Lin Chen is really getting into character. No way. If a fighter jet actually shows up, I'll fly to Sichuan and eat 3 pounds of cow dung in front of Lin Chen. If a fighter jet appears, I will offer my sister-in-law to Lin Chen. Lin Chen was indeed finished with pretense. Previously, he had kept a low profile in Old Capitol Bridge in Badong County. But now that the publicity department had publicly announced his status as an academician and the existence of the Kwafu Group, there was no need for secrecy. After all, he had contributed so much to the nation. It was not unreasonable to have a fighter jet enhance his prestige and boost the live stream's popularity. Moreover, he wished to deliver a resounding slap to the face of the colorful flag nation, showing them what they could see but could not have. Holding a portable hard drive in his hand, he said, Inside this drive is the complete data on remote wireless energy transmission technology. As I mentioned, this technology will effectively isolate the colorful flag nation, the Meta nation, and the execution nation. I'm merely considering their interests in advance, to avoid any claims of threats to their national security later. At this point, Lin Chen couldn't help but smile widely before adding, in a word, I will make these nations synonymous with backwardness. As Chapter 401 unfolded, the audience was once again in an uproar. Oh no, what should I do? I know Lin Chen is joking, but the more he talks seriously, the more I can't help but feel fired up. What a statement about becoming synonymous with backwardness. If this is true, I will absolutely vote for 10 carnivals. If Lin Chen really manages to develop remote wireless energy transmission technology, he will undoubtedly become the richest person. Meanwhile, across the ocean in the colorful flag nation, the door to the highest combat conference room swung open abruptly. A man, flustered, rushed in with several stacks of documents, quickly distributing them to everyone present. Lin Shen just revealed a portable hard drive, claiming it contains remote wireless energy transmission technology. He also stated that he would impose a technological blockade on our colorful flag nation, the Meta Nation, and the Execution Nation. He is currently awaiting the dispatch of fighter jets from the Tang Kingdom to collect the hard drive. The faces of the high-ranking officials in attendance shifted dramatically. They immediately began reviewing the documents, which prominently displayed screenshots of Lin Shen holding the hard drive during the live stream. Fake. It must be fake. No way. How could someone carry such an important item with them? Remote wireless energy transmission technology. After years of gathering global talent and research, we have made little progress. How could he possibly have developed it alone? If it is real, the implications would be monumental. These individuals, like before, were reluctant to believe in such a genius existing in the world. They understood that this was not merely an electrical transmission technology. The potential impact was far more significant. Many countries and regions still lacked electricity. If the Tang Kingdom were to deploy this technology in those underdeveloped nations, it would naturally draw them closer to the Tang Kingdom. Furthermore, even the allies of the colorful flag nation might be tempted to introduce this technology. In time, the colorful flag nation could find itself isolated and unsupported. The elderly man seated at the head of the table, his face pale with anger, commanded, "Project Lin Shen's live stream onto the screen. I want to see if a fighter jet will indeed appear." As soon as he finished speaking, someone began to operate the equipment. Soon, Lin Shen's live stream filled the large screen. Meanwhile, Lin Shen heard the voice of Xiao Ji in his ear. "Daddy, a group of people from the colorful flag nation are watching your live stream." Hearing this, Lin Shen couldn't help but laugh. After thinking for a moment, he spent 200,000 popularity points in the system shop to exchange for the technical data of the curvature engine. Sitting on the grass, he leisurely reached into his backpack and pulled out another portable hard drive. The moment this hard drive appeared on the live stream, the barrage of comments suddenly dwindled by 90%. Countless viewers were left dumbfounded. Another portable hard drive? What could this possibly be? Could it be yet another piece of black technology? In the colorful flag nation's conference room, everyone who witnessed Lin Shen pull out the second hard drive was equally astonished. The room fell silent. Lin Shen held the two hard drives in his hands and smiled at the live stream, saying, "Dear viewers, please do not misunderstand or panic. Since I am already prepared to hand over one drive, I might as well offer two to prevent the fighter jets from making an extra trip. All my research results are contained within these two hard drives. As for anything else, I genuinely have nothing left. I still need to ponder further." The live stream's comments began to scroll wildly. "Oh wow, I thought this was real, but now I think it's all scripted." When Lin Shen took out the second hard drive, I was completely stunned. "Is your black technology as common as cabbage, just ready to pull out of your bag? Haha. This is really starting to feel like a top 10 performance. You claim it's finished, yet here comes another classic. I believe it. Lin Shen, please tell us what technology is contained in this second hard drive." "Don't ask. It's all about the seeds, a never-ending treasure trove of learning materials, including everything from east to west, black, white, yellow, animals, and humans. Keep making it up." Lin Shen looked at the barrage filled with skepticism and continued. "The second hard drive contains the technical data for the curvature engine. I consider this a modest contribution to our nation's aerospace endeavors." Upon hearing this, countless comments erupted in praise, yet the number of those who believed Lin Shen began to dwindle. "Are you joking? Remote wireless energy transmission technology is one thing. At least we've encountered wireless charging on our phones, providing a theoretical basis for understanding. But a curvature engine? Something that only exists in science fiction films? You expect us to believe you just invented it?" Not only did the viewers in the live stream find it implausible, but everyone in the colorful flag nation's conference room felt the same disbelief. Some individuals could hardly contain their laughter. What did this young man from the Tang Kingdom think science was? A curvature engine? If he truly invented such a thing, they would chop off their heads and use them as soccer balls. In the end, this was nothing more than a complete farce. They had been so tense, strategizing on how to eliminate him. The atmosphere instantly became relaxed, except for an elderly man whose expression remained grave, fixated on Lin Shen without uttering a word. 5 minutes passed, then 10, and then 15. Just as the countless viewers in the live stream began to grow impatient, urging Lin Shen to stop pretending and hurry up, an astonishing scene unfolded. A triangular aircraft suddenly appeared on the horizon, and in the blink of an eye, it materialized near the meadow where Lin Shen and others were situated. It then began to descend slowly. Upon sighting this aircraft, the comment section of the live stream erupted. "ISNT, that the UFO from last night. Is this the T3 from the colorful flag nation? They are actually using this aircraft to retrieve the hard drive? Goodness. Look. It's already marked with our national emblem. Wait, has it truly changed nationality? I'm stunned. Could what Lin Shan said be true? Otherwise, they wouldn't have dispatched this aircraft. Let us not rule out the possibility of a smokescreen. They might be collaborating with Lin Shan for a performance, making the real seem false to intimidate the colorful flag nation. Haha, what was supposed to be a fighter jet has transformed into a T-3. This is clearly a show for the colorful flag nation, signaling that this belongs to our Tang nation. The multitude of viewers in the live stream was both astonished and amused. Just moments after the colorful flag nation's publicity department had issued a statement demanding the return of the captured aircraft, this very aircraft appeared in Lin Shan's live stream, adorned with the emblem of the Tang nation. This silent retort was a resounding slap in the face of the colorful flag nation, simply brilliant. At that moment, in the operational command room of the colorful flag nation, upon witnessing the T-3's appearance in Lin Shan's live stream, everyone's eyes turned red, and they erupted into furious curses, expletives flying. They were filled with impotent rage. Lin Shan, upon seeing the T-3, was momentarily taken aback but soon burst into hearty laughter. Chapter 402. How could a mere walking streamer know so much? Whose brilliant idea was this? It was simply diabolical. Coincidentally, the individuals from the colorful flag nation were watching his live stream. Could this not infuriate them? However, those responsible for handling the T-3 acted swiftly. Within a night, they had already deciphered the operational methods. One could surmise that the captured individuals had divulged all they could. He approached with 2 portable hard drives, his live streaming phone following closely behind. The aircraft's underside revealed 3 landing supports, and the hatch slowly opened upon touching the ground. 5 tall men, fully armed and painted in camouflage, swiftly emerged. This time, the live stream captured all 5 of them, prompting a barrage of wow comments. At the Winsound headquarters, Yang Dunhai, who had been monitoring Lin Shan's live stream, quickly called Zhang Qianji to inquire whether they should cut the broadcast. Zhang Qianji smiled and replied, "No need. I just received a call from above, instructing us to broadcast this segment to the entire world." Hearing this, Yang Dunhai felt reassured. Wiping the sweat from his forehead, he gazed at the computer screen with newfound respect. Lin Shan's live streaming prowess was becoming increasingly impressive. It was not an exaggeration to say he was the foremost individual in the world, not just in Tang Nation. Meanwhile, the 5 men had come face to face with Lin Shan. Leading them was a middle-aged man with graying temples, clad in tactical boots, who stood at attention before Lin Shan and saluted. Lin Shan returned the gesture. The man then produced his credentials, handing them to Lin Shan. Upon inspection, Lin Shan saw it was from the Songlong team, led by Captain Dong Qua, a rank equivalent to that of a national minister. Lin Shan was moved. The significance of a national minister rank was immense. He himself was merely 1 rank below, representing the pinnacle of national authority. Dong Qua had undoubtedly earned this position through genuine military merit, having faced countless unseen perils and endured the chaos of battle. Clearly, the members of the Songlong team were no ordinary soldiers. They were elite warriors among warriors. Lin Shan carefully observed and sensed that while Dong Qua was well covered, his physical condition was far from ideal. Old injuries marred his bones and organs, with several fragments of shrapnel still lodged within him. A glance at the other 4 revealed that while their injuries were not as severe as Dong Qua's, they too bore wounds. A deep sense of respect welled up within Lin Shan. Moreover, he quickly discerned that these men had practiced the blood-moving technique he had previously taught to Zhong Wenzhou and others. Lin Shan returned the credentials to Dong Qua and instructed Xiao Ji to mute the live stream. He then said, "Captain Dong, I entrust these 2 hard drives to you." Dong Qua solemnly accepted the portable hard drives, affirming, "Rest assured, Director Lin, we will accomplish the task." One of his companions promptly opened a metal case, into which Dong Qua carefully placed the hard drives. He then saluted Lin Shan once more before turning to leave with his team. At that moment, Lin Shan paused to call out to Dong Qua, inquiring if he had paper and a pen. Dong Qua, slightly taken aback, quickly produced a small notebook and pen he carried with him. Lin Shan accepted the paper and pen, beginning to jot down notes. Meanwhile, the live stream had erupted into chaos. Lin Shan is incredible. These men clearly aren't ordinary soldiers. Military enthusiasts note that their equipment is world-class, absolutely special forces level. With such a grand display, who would still think this is scripted? The guy who claimed he'd eat cow dung in front of Lin Shan can now buy a ticket. To those who said the fighter jet was coming, now there's even a UFO. Why aren't you all rushing to send gifts? Many viewers, relishing the spectacle, began to call out those who had previously boasted, with the user Waterboiled Fish Head being particularly vocal. A few seconds later, Waterboiled Fish Head commented, My sister-in-law is only 8 years old. Isn't that inappropriate? Please spare me. He then sent 3 gifts. Aside from him, quite a number of others also bit the bullet and sent gifts, fulfilling their earlier promises. In no time, the live stream was filled with various gifts, rockets, and celebrations. Across the ocean, in the operational meeting room of the colorful Flag Nation, after a wave of furious curses, a heavy silence fell. Everyone remained fixated on the screen, comprehending the barrage of comments through real-time translation software. A scarred middle-aged man suddenly exclaimed, "I recognize them. They are from the Songlong of Tang Nation. We clashed with them not long ago during a mission in Takan Nation, and it was brutal." This statement resonated with the attendees. In this era, the world was far from as peaceful as it appeared. Even between the seemingly tranquil Tang Nation and colorful Flag Nation, there were constant covert confrontations, unknown to the public eye. The colorful Flag Nation had sought to incite a civil war in Takan, secretly dispatching their elite Sea God team for a decapitation mission. However, they were ambushed in the jungle shortly after landing by a mysterious team. Despite their anonymity, both sides recognized each other as combat styles. No words were necessary. They simply engaged in combat. In that battle, the colorful Flag Nation suffered heavy losses and ultimately had to abandon their mission, retreating in disgrace. The elder seated in the higher position spoke, "Joseph, are you certain that these individuals are members of the Songlong team?" Joseph fixed his gaze intently on the figures of Dong Qua and others displayed on the screen, asserting, "Their demeanor is unmistakable. I would never be mistaken." Instantly, a flurry of discussions erupted. If they truly belonged to Songlong, the authenticity of those 2 hard drives would be highly plausible. Could it really be the curvature engine? That seems far-fetched. How many dead zones do we still have in Tang country? Even if we face complete annihilation, we must clarify this matter, regardless of its veracity. We must devise a means to seize the data within those 2 hard drives. If the items are genuine, how could they be so easily obtained? The core technological data of Tang country's space station has already been launched into the sky. Have we managed to secure it? A sense of urgency arose. The elder, lost in thought, felt a wave of frustration. If the contents of the hard drives were indeed authentic, they would undoubtedly be classified at the highest level of secrecy. Acquiring them through illicit means would be nearly impossible. If it comes to that, we may have to ease relations with Tang country and strive for cooperation in relevant fields. However, without equivalent leverage, the likelihood of collaboration is exceedingly slim. Furthermore, what is Lin Shen currently writing? The fact that he is willing to delay the Songlong team's escort of the hard drives indicates the significance of his notes. Damn it! How can this mere hiking streamer possess such versatility? After 7 or 8 minutes, Lin Shen finally completed his writing and handed the notebook to Dong Qua. Upon receiving it, Dong Qua glanced at the contents and quickly displayed a look of deep emotion. Looking up, he gazed at Lin Shen with a mix of shock and excitement, exclaiming, This is..." Lin Shen interjected, "You know Mo Yun, right?" Dong Qua nodded vigorously. He not only knew of Mo Yun, but had also seen the textual version of his cultivation techniques less than half an hour after Mo Yun had disclosed them. However, since Lin Shen had mentioned that the technique had issues, he had set it aside for later. He then reviewed Mo Yun's physical report, and upon seeing the image of a diminutive and delicate organ akin to that of a 3-year-old child alongside the note of severe atrophy, he felt a wave of dread. Even the most courageous and valiant man would hesitate to attempt cultivation. Lin Shen continued, "The technique he provided has problems. In my spare time, I contemplated some improvements, and it should be fine now. You all should practice according to the methods outlined here, and feel free to contact me if you encounter any issues." This statement was, in fact, half-truth. Had he not noticed the hidden injuries within Dong Qua and the others, he would have nearly forgotten about Mo Yun and had not actively contemplated his rudimentary cultivation method. During those 7 or 8 minutes, he had been simultaneously thinking and writing, eliminating the errors and integrating essential elements from the innate technique. Not only did he mitigate the risks inherent in the method, but he also elevated the entire technique's level by several tiers. If the previous technique could only be considered a flawed 5th-tier version, it had now ascended to 3rd-tier status, with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth slightly reviving. It would not be difficult for anyone with even a modicum of aptitude to achieve success in cultivation with this method, much like Luo Xian. Having already experienced the subtleties of blood and energy manipulation, Dong Qua harbored no doubts regarding Lin Shen's assertions. Since Lin Shen claimed it was fine, then it must indeed be fine. In a surge of excitement, he bowed deeply to Lin Shen. Reverently, he tucked the notebook away. His eyes filled with respect as he regarded Lin Shen. With the blood and energy manipulation method, alongside this new cultivation technique, The individual combat capabilities of the Songlong Special Forces would undoubtedly see a collective enhancement. Should they encounter the Haishan team again, they would surely leave no surviving remnants. Countless soldiers would owe their survival in brutal combat to these two martial arts techniques. Lin Shen subsequently exchanged contact information with Dong Qua, and they bid farewell to each other. Watching as Dong Qua and the others boarded the T3, which slowly ascended before swiftly departing, he finally lifted the mute on his livestream. Turning towards the camera, he smiled and remarked, "Bigwigs of the colorful flag nation, are you certain you won't send anyone to seize this? If you delay any longer, it might be too late. After a while, when our spacecraft is completed, don't come crying for collaboration or sharing. In truth, I am quite accommodating. If you truly wish to win me over, feel free to express your sincerity by showering my live stream with 10 to 20 billion colorful knives." Upon hearing this, the audience in the live stream erupted in laughter. What a bold statement. Lin Shen's words are simply too fierce, but I love it. Who needs to collaborate and share? Lin Shen is taking the path of the colorful flag nation, leaving them with no escape. I can already envision the scene when that time comes. The colorful flag nation will surely shout that technology knows no borders and space resources belong to all humanity. Lin Shen, do you think the colorful flag nation is foolish? If they actually showered you with 10 to 20 billion colorful knives, you'd probably deny at the moment they turned away. Goodness. Lin Shen is no longer satisfied with harvesting capital and intelligence. He's directly targeting nations. Holy moly. Does Lin Shen mean that the curvature engine is a serious matter? Be careful, Lin Shen. Don't get taken out by spies from the colorful flag nation halfway through. In the operational meeting room of the colorful flag nation, a group of officials turned red with anger upon hearing the translator recount Lin Shen's words. Exclamations of frustration filled the air. Some even slammed their hands on the table, expressing the necessity of deploying elite operatives to infiltrate the western regions of Tang country and eliminate this audacious young man. The elder seated in the upper position instructed someone to shut down the projection of Lin Shen's livestream. Knocking on the table, he waited for silence before solemnly declaring, "This Lin Shen has become a necessity to eliminate. Those two hard drives were merely the beginning. Allowing such a person to live another day in Tang country poses an increasing threat to our colorful flag nation. Formulate a plan immediately. Whether using our own operatives or foreign spies, we must swiftly bring him down. On the fishing vessel front, mobilize our allies and intensify the offensive. We must compel Tang country to surrender T3 and Lin Shen. If they refuse, we will withdraw our embassy and seek justifications for severe sanctions." Everyone present nodded in agreement, promptly beginning to deliberate on various details. Lin Shen, having observed the barrage of comments for half a minute, expressed a hint of disappointment. "I thought that after saying all this, the colorful flag nation might throw some support my way as a test." The audience in the live stream burst into laughter, flooding the comments with remarks like, "Do you really think they're that naive? Knowing that it's like throwing meat buns to dogs, who would dare to contribute? Just accept it. This time, it really won't work." Lin Shen remained unfazed, suddenly reaching into his backpack. Instantly, the chat exploded with comments like, "What the heck? Here we go again. Is it real? A third hard drive?" Amid the chaotic commentary, Lin Shen retrieved a bottle of water. After taking a couple of sips, he looked at the live stream with exasperation. "What are you all thinking? I already said there's no stock left. How can it be so quick? Let me take a breather. At least wait until tomorrow." Upon hearing this, the chat erupted once more. "At least wait until tomorrow. Does that mean there will be stock tomorrow? Holy moly. Lin Shen definitely still has stock. He just isn't willing to reveal it. This is too outrageous. Do you think it's like that? Rest for one night, and then be fully stocked again. Why am I not convinced? Goodness. The colorful flag nation, Shun Ti, have issued that statement. They truly pushed Lin Shen into becoming a god. I bet many will have trouble sleeping tonight. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, it feels like the initial explosive video, where new revelations came daily. This time, it's a new piece of cutting-edge technology every day. Everyone, don't sleep tonight. After midnight, Lin Shen might just pull out the hard drive." In the operational meeting room of the colorful flag nation, the prominent figures discussing how to eliminate Lin Shen were suddenly interrupted by a translator who had been quietly monitoring Lin Shen's livestream. Upon learning that Lin Shen might unveil a third hard drive as early as tomorrow, everyone was nearly driven to madness. "Is that backpack of yours a veritable doorman's pocket? It appears small, yet it conceals an astonishing number of hard drives. Where on earth did you pilfer them from? Were it not for the thorough investigation into Lin Shen's background, they would have suspected him to be an extraterrestrial in disguise, specifically tasked with assisting the Tang Kingdom." A group of individuals, filled with rage, could scarcely restrain themselves. wishing to hurl a large object at Lin Chen's head to obliterate him. After finishing his drink, Lin Chen smiled at the live stream. Come now. Let us engage in mutual harm. The two sides were already at odds, and since they were set on confrontation, it was better to strike early than late. Whatever tricks they had up their sleeves, be they male or female, young or old, armed with guns or cannons. It was a race to see who would be the first to eliminate the other, while urging Li Ziao and the others to continue their trek. He whispered to Xiaoji, Xiaoji, send me all the photos and names of those who are conspiring to kill me. Chapter 404, Shocking Revelations. The entire network trembles long before the operational meeting in the Rainbow Flag Nation displayed Lin Chen's live stream. Xiaoji had already seized the opportunity to infiltrate and gather intel on the attendees. Thus, as soon as Lin Chen finished speaking, his backup phone vibrated slightly. The information had been transmitted. It was quite comprehensive, evidently extracted directly from the official database of the Rainbow Flag Nation after correlating individuals. Lin Chen was thoroughly pleased. Since these individuals had already conspired to eliminate him, there was no need for them to continue living. He resolved to take out one or two of them each day, starting today. At that moment, Xiaoji interjected, Dad, I've also recorded footage of them discussing how to kill you through the translator's phone. Would you like it? Upon hearing this, Lin Chen's eyes lit up, and he quickly replied, Send it to me. The backup phone vibrated again. Lin Chen connected it to his bone conduction headset and opened the video. Since the footage was captured through a hacked camera, the angle was not ideal, but it still managed to capture the attendees. After watching nearly 5 minutes of the video, Lin Chen's fury surged. These people were truly nefarious. A group of high-ranking officials from the Rainbow Flag Nation, instead of attending to serious matters, were earnestly deliberating on how to eliminate a mere live-streaming host. How could they hold him in such high regard? The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Turning to the live stream, he noticed that everyone was still discussing the hard drives. He spoke up. Dear viewers, I just received a video. Although I am uncertain about its context, I must admit I feel rather uneasy. With those words, the audience's curiosity was instantly piqued. Wow, has someone leaked information again? What could possibly be so alarming that even Lin Chen feels apprehensive? Don't hold back. Reveal it so we can all see. Could it be that Lin Chen received a death threat? Every time Lin Chen exposes something, someone ends up in trouble. Who will be the unfortunate soul this time? Hearing Lin Chen's words, Yi Xiaoxi and the others also drew closer. Lin Chen glanced at the barrage of comments for a few seconds and sighed. To be frank, this matter is quite grave enough to make me feel I may not survive much longer. Since everyone is eager to watch, I shall play it 10 times. After you view it, be sure to flood the screen with protective messages. With that, he brought the backup phone in front of the live stream phone and opened the video. The viewers, initially startled by Lin Chen's remarks, were left in stunned silence upon seeing the video. The shaky footage depicted something unclear, and the dialogue was in the language of the Rainbow Flag Nation. However, it soon revealed the faces of several Western individuals, some adorned with uniforms decorated with numerous gold stars. Many regular news followers, even if they could not comprehend the language, widened their eyes in recognition. Are those not the prominent figures often seen in news reports about the Rainbow Flag Nation? What on earth were they discussing? Suddenly, the video jolted, and countless viewers saw Lin Chen's live stream projected on the wall. They were left utterly dumbfounded. A group of high-ranking officials from the Rainbow Flag Nation had gathered in a conference room, collectively watching Lin Chen's stream. Moreover, the footage displayed events from the prior aerial incident. In contrast, many viewers in the live stream could understand the language spoken, and their expressions shifted dramatically, their breaths catching in shock as they felt the chill run down their spines. The discussions among these officials contained an alarming amount of information. At times, they questioned the authenticity of the data on the hard drives, at other times expressing fear, believing it imperative to seize the contents at all costs, and at times, devising plans for Lin Chen's execution. Particularly chilling was the elderly man in a prominent position, whose statements at the video's conclusion sent shivers down spines. He confirmed the necessity of eliminating Lin Chen, deploying both national and foreign elite agents, and orchestrating various strategies involving fishing boats, economics, and alliances to jointly assault the Tang Kingdom. Many viewers, holding their phones in trembling hands, were drenched in cold sweat, completely terrified. They had no idea how this video had come into Lin Chen's possession. The crucial point was that this was unequivocally real. Furthermore, by revealing this video during the live stream, it was bound to send shockwaves throughout the global fishing industry. Everyone knew that the Rainbow Flag Nation frequently engaged in such activities, yet the exposure of such explicit conspiratorial details would undoubtedly result in international condemnation. Moreover, It would substantiate that the Rainbow Flag Nation's prior accusations against Lin Chun regarding the theft of anti-gravity technology were entirely baseless. If the Rainbow Flag Nation were genuinely that formidable, why would they treat Lin Chun as a grave threat and seek to eliminate him? This time, there was no way for the Rainbow Flag Nation to cleanse itself of this stain. No wonder Lin Chun insisted on having the word protection flood the screen. The Rainbow Flag Nation truly wished to see him dead. In an instant, the live stream comments erupted. This is serious. Something monumental has transpired. Goodness. This revelation is explosive. It's on an international scale. Those of us who understand the rainbow flag language can tell. Lin Chun is truly in deep trouble. They are deploying operatives. I'm in shock. Lin Chun is merely a small-time streamer. Is it necessary to mobilize such forces against him? A group of high-ranking officials from the Rainbow Flag Nation, while watching Lin Chun stream, are plotting his demise. Doesn't that terrify you, Lin Chun? I thought Lin Chun was going to send someone to prison. Instead, it seems others are planning to send him to the underworld. Lin Chun seems frightened, which is why he exposed the video. Everyone should cherish this moment. Who knows if he will still be around tomorrow? Wow, my grasp of the rainbow flag language is limited. Are those comments real? Is it really that severe? Enough chatter. Everyone spread the video and flood the screen with protective messages. Countless viewers, bewildered by the unfolding events, began to communicate frantically across various live streams. Urgent news. Lin Chun has been marked as an assassination target by the Rainbow Flag Nation. He's in immediate danger. Lin Chun has gone too far this time. The Rainbow Flag Nation has issued a death warrant. Operatives and spies are in motion. He won't survive the night. This is serious. The Rainbow Flag Nation has mobilized the Justice League. Various superhumans and biowarriors are on the move. Lin Chun is truly doomed. Journalists and content creators monitoring Lin Chun's live stream went into a frenzy. Related video clips, rapidly paired with captions and voiceovers, began to disseminate across major platforms at an astonishing rate. The news even reached international video platforms. In an instant, the entire network was shaken. Chapter 405, Popularity Soars. Lin Chun, I am truly frightened now. I wish to live a few more years. Lin Chun is a man of his word. He vowed to broadcast the video 10 times, and so he did, walking as he repeatedly played it. By the time he began the second round, the viewership in the live stream had already started to surge at a terrifying pace. 200 million, 250 million, 300 million. Lin Chun was moved. The dignitaries of the colorful flag nation were indeed benevolent. Without their performance, how could he ever reach such a pinnacle of popularity on his own? At Yi Xiaoxi's end, a call suddenly came in. After listening for a few seconds, she handed the phone to Lin Chun and whispered, "It's brother Zhong calling." Seeing this, Lin Chun passed his spare phone to Yi Xiaoxi, instructing her to continue playing the video. He stepped aside, and before he could speak, Zhong Wenzhou's weary voice came through. "Lin, you've gone too far this time. Next time something like this happens, could you at least give me a heads up?" Lin Chun chuckled. "Whether I give you a heads up or not, I was always going to expose this video. Others are planning to send agents to kill me. Why should I be polite? It's time for the world to see their true colors." He continued, "The greater the commotion, the safer I feel. Now that the entire world is aware. With so many eyes watching, I doubt they would dare to send anyone after me." On the other end of the line, Zhong Wenzhou couldn't help but nod in agreement. From his personal standpoint, he recognized that while Lin Chun's exposure was indeed blunt, it was undeniably powerful and satisfying. It was likely that the situation in the colorful flag nation was now a chaotic mess. He spoke, "The higher-ups want me to convey that you can walk without worry. No matter what conspiracies lie across the sea, they will ensure not a hair on your head is harmed. The external propaganda department will issue a statement soon. Just wait for the news." With that, he hung up. Lin Chun smiled, returning the phone to Yi Xiaoxi. Looking back at the livestream, he was astounded to see the viewership rapidly approaching 400 million. Suddenly inspired, he leaned towards Xiao Ji and whispered, "Xiao Ji, I need you to assist me with something." At the headquarters of the Wind Sound Corporation, the technical staff were on the verge of madness. Lin Chun's livestream bandwidth had been expanded repeatedly, yet still struggled to accommodate the explosive traffic. Even Zhang Qianji couldn't remain seated, rushing to the technical department to supervise personally. Yang Dunhai was sweating profusely, fixated on real-time data, and exclaimed, "General Zhang, nearly 1/3 of the surging traffic in Lin Chun's livestream is coming from overseas. And the proportion is only increasing." It was evident that the news had spread abroad. This situation could not continue. They needed a solution, or no amount of servers would suffice. Zhang Qianji felt both excited and anxious. Tugging at his tie, he said, "Increase all available bandwidth, and if necessary, reduce the video quality." Immediately contact cloud server rentals. We must ensure Lin Chen's livestream runs smoothly. Yang Dunhai promptly made the calls. Meanwhile, in the war room of the colorful Flag Nation, as Zhong Wenzhou had predicted, chaos ensued. The screen displayed Lin Chen's livestream once again, showing him repeatedly playing the video on his spare phone. Everyone present was on the verge of breaking down with fury. After the initial confusion, all eyes turned to the Tang language translator. From the visual perspective, he was the one who filmed the video. After a few shouts, the translator was swiftly apprehended, handcuffed, and his phone seized by the elders seated in a position of authority. Upon opening it, they indeed found the video, and rage ignited in the elder's eyes. Peter, what further explanations do you have? The translator, panic-stricken and terrified, replied, I don't know. I know nothing. Someone must have hacked my phone. The elder, now disinterested, waved his hand, ordering the translator to be taken away for interrogation. The phone was handed over to specialized technicians to check for signs of intrusion. Settling back in his seat, the elder's face turned ashen, and he solemnly declared, Next, let us focus on how to address this phishing crisis. Instantly, the room was filled with voices strategizing. They discussed video manipulation. Every platform that hosted the video or discussed related topics had their posts deleted and associated accounts banned. Deleting everything might backfire, making people believe the video is genuine. Will they believe the video is false if we don't delete it? It must be removed. And the external propaganda department should issue a statement denying the rumors from the Tang country. We can only manage our own country's platforms. Other nations' sites will likely see widespread circulation. It's better than doing nothing at all. We can simply deny it. As the elders' frown deepened, someone suddenly knocked and hurried into the meeting room, visibly anxious. This is bad. The official website has been hacked, and the video has been posted. At this revelation, the faces of everyone in the room turned grim. The hack of the colorful Flag Nation's official website was precisely the task Lin Chen had assigned to Xiaoji. He had anticipated that the colorful Flag Nation would take measures to delete related videos and reports, trying to mitigate the negative impact. Thus, he had taken the initiative, directly uploading the video to the internet, and intended for it to remain for 3 days and nights. Moreover, the video prominently displayed his livestream channel number. This was a tactic for external traffic. The video lasted over 5 minutes, and after repeating it 10 times, a full hour had passed. Observing the viewership stabilize at just over 480 million, Lin Chen reluctantly put away his spare phone. He glanced at the livestream comments and noticed that aside from the Tang language, there were numerous foreign languages mixed in, with inquiries about the video's authenticity. Lin Chen stated earnestly, I am only responsible for the exposure. As for its truth, I leave that to your judgment. However, I personally believe the video to be genuine. I will post it on my personal homepage for interested viewers to download and analyze to ascertain if it is indeed fabricated. In truth, I think the colorful Flag Nation has overestimated me. I am merely a walking live streamer, and my scientific research is just a facade I've created. I truly lack such vast abilities. I confess, all that talk about anti-gravity technology, remote wireless energy transmission, and curvature engines was merely fabricated. Everything that has transpired previously was a performance. Those 2 hard drives were fakes, containing nothing but the hard-earned study materials of my friend Yuan Hang. So, please refrain from sending spies my way. I am genuinely terrified now and wish to live a few more years. If you do not believe me, you may go abduct Yuan Hang and subject him to severe interrogation. He will surely divulge everything clearly. As he concluded, he suddenly found it difficult to maintain his composure and broke into a grin. At that moment, thousands of kilometers away, in a lavish mansion, Yuan Hang, who was fervently watching the live stream with great excitement, was left utterly stunned. His face drained of color as he shouted in shock, leaping 3 feet into the air before crashing to the ground. Chapter 406. 3 sentences never stray from the main topic. Trouble arose. Lin Chen is wanted. The viewers in the live stream delighted in Lin Chen's earnest attempts at clarification and deflection. Ha ha ha, Lin Chen, your disavowal is too thorough. They even arranged for triangular flying devices. And now you tell me it was all a hoax? What is going on? What exceptional learning materials could garner such significant attention from both the aforementioned and the flag-waving nation? I must certainly study and observe them. It is quite astonishing that amidst all the commotion, it is the executioner nation that stands unrivaled. As a harbinger of civilization, it appears poised for a complete resurgence. Oh, Brother Yuan Hang, did you not claim that hard drive was yours? Are you not feeling relieved now? Brother Lin still clings to the past. Despite Sister Yuan Hang and Father Yuan Hang having made numerous transactions, he has not forgotten the buried orders in his heart. With this cunning maneuver, the case can finally be closed. Everyone passing by, Let us offer incense for Brother Yuanhang in advance. Brother Yuanhang has worked hard. May his journey be smooth. We wish for Brother Yuanhang to be remembered forever. Countless longtime viewers derive a sense of schadenfreude from Brother Yuanhang's predicament. Did you truly believe that drawing attention to yourself would be beneficial? Witnessing these comments has nearly brought Brother Yuanhang to tears. How did it come to this? With an enormous black pot suddenly crashing down upon him? This is no mere pot. It is akin to a heavenly tribulation. Brother Lin is far too vengeful. Was it not simply a few jabs in the comments? Is it really necessary to escalate matters so dramatically? With a sudden bang, the door to his bedroom flew open. A girl of 18 or 19, her face alight with excitement, stared at Brother Yuanhang and exclaimed, "Brother, you're finished. You're absolutely done for. You haven't bought insurance yet, have you? I'll sell all your collectibles, shoes, and car to help you purchase an exorbitantly priced insurance policy." It was none other than his sister, by Jejia. Brother Yuanhang felt a sudden jolt in his eye and roared, "Get out." He kicked his bothersome sister out of the room and locked the door. He hastily retrieved his phone and began sending comments. Brother Yuanhang, brother, I was wrong. Everyone, don't believe Brother Lin. I brought my hard drive back. Those 2 drives have nothing to do with me. Please, esteemed figures of the flag-waving nation, do not come looking for me. He then began to frantically send gifts. Brother Yuanhang has gifted 42 carnivals. He continued to plead for mercy. Brother Yuanhang, brother, I've spent all my pocket money this month on you. I truly have nothing left. I wish to live a few more years. Please spare me. Observing Brother Yuanhang's comments and gifts, the audience in the live stream erupted in laughter. Lin Chen could not help but chuckle. He then remarked, "Thank you for Brother Yuanhang's gifts. You really need not be so anxious. Perhaps your adversary will employ a beauty trap against you, and you might find yourself enjoying it." Brother Yuanhang's eyes brightened at this suggestion, only to quickly adopt a grim expression as he typed, "Brother Yuanhang, brother, please don't toy with me. I truly was wrong. What if it's a man? I'd be even worse off." Lin Chen, sensing the seriousness, ceased his jesting. Regaining his composure as he stated, "What I just said was partially in jest. This matter has nothing to do with Brother Yuanhang. To the esteemed figures of the flag-waving nation, bring anything you wish to me. I am impervious to harm. My only weakness lies with women. So, if you intend to send someone to confront me, dispatch only the most beautiful female agents to walk alongside me, perhaps to elevate my popularity, and I might divulge everything." Upon hearing this, the audience erupted in laughter. Goodness, Lin Chen, please act like a human. Even now, you're attempting to charm the flag-waving nation into sending you assistance? Remarkable. Lin Chen has truly mastered the art of live streaming. He knows that beautiful women in the chat will draw an audience. And now he is even aiming for foreign beauties. What nonsense. Walking alongside you. You never stray far from your true profession. Haha. Knowing Lin Chen is joking. Why am I still so eager? Welcome, beautiful agents from all nations, to join Lin Chen's walking army. I finally found common ground with Lin Chen. My only weakness is also women. Whenever I hear someone say their parents are gravely ill or that their brother cannot afford tuition, I inevitably give an extra 200. Upstairs, I'm the same. I know they're ill-suited for each other. I've attempted to break up several times, but when my girlfriend's friend cries, I can't help but soften. Indeed, men's weaknesses lie with women, and thus, it is always the men who suffer. Last time, my friend lamented to me about his girlfriend's betrayal. All I could do was comfort him, assuring him that there are still good women in the world. Just look at his girlfriend. She hasn't betrayed me. After Lin Chen finished speaking, he sensed several ominous gazes around him. A shiver ran down his spine, prompting him to swiftly change the subject. It was merely a jest. Why the tension? Nonetheless, should male or female agents truly arrive, they would be met with firearms, as he had ammunition aplenty. The group continued their trek. After more than an hour, they finally traversed a stretch of rough road and returned to a paved one. Noticing it was now midday, they stopped at a roadside restaurant and casually ordered 4 dishes for lunch. While dining, chatter in the live stream began circulating. A major news flash. The Meta Nation has lodged a protest and demanded negotiations, claiming the so-called espionage activities are purely fabrications and demanding the release of Zheng Peina and her associates. As this comment appeared, it sparked a heated discussion. After all, Zheng Peina and her companions had been sent in by Lin Chen himself. In the comments, the overwhelming majority were mocking and derisive. What did they expect? They've been caught red-handed. How could they simply demand release? Besides, they publicly committed acts of violence in front of billions in the live stream. This alone is grounds for condemnation. The tiny Meta Nation lacks the standing to instruct the Tang Nation on matters. Lin Chen, observing the comments, refrained from offering his opinion. To him, it seemed that behind those X-ray glasses, the flag-waving nation might be pulling strings behind the scenes. After finishing lunch, the group resumed their journey. At this point, they were less than 30 kilometers from Mancon County. Lin Chun estimated that if they exerted themselves, they should arrive later in the day. After discussing, Yi Xiaoxi and the others agreed that they would reach Mancon County for the night. As Lin Chun and his companions continued toward Mancon County, the Tang Nation's official stance regarding the T3 submission of the 2 mobile hard drives and the video of the flag-waving nation's leaders conspiring to eliminate Lin Chun continued to gather momentum globally. Escalating in intensity, countries vied to report on it, even as the flag-waving nation attempted to suppress it. Outside the highest official residence of the flag-waving nation, protesters gathered in droves. The nation's external propaganda department convened an emergency press conference, issuing a statement. Ultimately, the message remained the same. The video is a fabrication, concocted by malicious individuals seeking to frame the flag-waving nation. At the conclusion of the statement, the tone abruptly shifted. Under the pretext of stealing the flag-waving nation's anti-gravity technology, a bounty of 25 million flags was placed on Lin Chun, initiating a global manhunt. The announcement sent shockwaves across the world. The comments in Lin Chun's livestream exploded. Insane. The flag-waving nation has completely lost its mind. What audacity! Daring to put a bounty on Lin Chun. 25 million flags? Is Lin Chun really worth that much? To the person above, have you lost your mind? Do you genuinely believe that everyone is a millionaire? For the average person, 25 million flags would secure a lifetime of comfort. Lin Chun is now truly in peril. With a bounty on his head, many desperate individuals will surely target him. Brothers, I have a bold idea. Instead of giving outsiders a chance, why not team up for a big score? The person above is seeking death. Don't drag others into it. Have you already forgotten how Lin Chun dealt with that 5-star group? Given how much importance they placed on Lin Chun, who would dare to act against him for such a pittance? That would be pure folly. Lin Chun, observing the comments in the livestream, understood the situation and could not help but chuckle in exasperation. The flag-waving nation had completely disregarded its own dignity. Even the bounty has been issued. This ploy is indeed ruthless. However, on the expansive land of Tang, under the watchful eyes of the public, there are likely very few who would dare to take action. Setting aside the question of whether they could capture him, even if they managed to do so, they would be risking their lives for a reward they might never enjoy. Do they truly believe that the Ngua division is powerless? It can only be said that the Caichi kingdom is indeed cornered. Even though they cannot send spies due to the exposure of the video, they still wish to make life difficult for him. This also serves to declare their stance, insisting on holding their ground and portraying themselves as the bearers of justice. As Lin Chun observed the barrage of comments for a while, he noticed that the majority were vehemently condemning the Caichi kingdom, expressing sympathy for him. Yet, a small faction surprisingly spoke in defense of the Caichi kingdom. The Caichi kingdom's stance is so firm, issuing a bounty. It can't be completely unfounded, can it? Indeed, Lin Chun's skills appeared out of nowhere. He is merely a dropout from a Beijing opera school, a footloose streamer. If he were truly that remarkable, national researchers would have already sought him out. I also believe Lin Chun might have used hacking techniques to steal their technology, but he was simply too clean, which is why the Caichi kingdom cannot present solid evidence. If he wants to prove his innocence, it is simple. Just explain the principles of that anti-gravity technology and the detailed process of its research. Let's see if he can walk the talk. To be honest, anti-gravity technology could greatly propel human civilization forward. Even if Lin Chun truly invented it, he should publicly disclose it. Then the entire world would be grateful to him, showcasing the grandeur of our Tang. Many were incensed by these comments and immediately erupted into a heated argument. Lin Chun cast a cold glance at the IDs of those posting such remarks. From the names and style of the comments, it was evident that the majority were not spies. Just because the Caichi kingdom issued a bounty, does that imply he indeed stole their technology? These individuals were simply naive and simplistic in their thinking. He coldly declared, Xiaoji, ban all those who speak in favor of the Caichi kingdom, those who prattle on about grandeur. Permanently ban them for 365 days. I want them to never be able to comment in my livestream again. As his words fell, numerous crimson ban notifications erupted. The livestream was instantly flooded with countless comments such as feels good, well done, and kill them. Lin Chun continued coldly. Science knows no borders, yet scientists do. Hasn't there been enough technology embargoes against Tang? Why is it that when it comes to me, I am expected to share my technology freely with the world? I am collaborating with the upper echelons to establish a company and retain 51% of the shares. Do you think I would just reveal everything at your whim? If you are so generous, why don't you sell your house and donate it? Grandeur? You speak of grandeur, and they treat you as a fool. Sometimes, being overly grand can make others believe you are easy to bully. I, Lin Shun, have no need to explain myself to the Taichi Kingdom. Those who utter such words are unworthy of watching my live stream, even unworthy of holding a Tang citizenship. Get lost. Upon hearing this, the barrage erupted in applause. Across Tang, the owners of the permanently banned IDs turned red with anger upon hearing his words, immediately submitting reports to Fengyin for Lin Shen's insults against the audience. Naturally, their complaints fell on deaf ears. In their frustration, many rushed to report him to the cyber administration, though they were destined to see no results. After venting, Lin Shen felt a sense of relief. Some individuals truly deserve to be scolded. They eat Tang's rice, speak Tang's language, yet grovel before the West. After so long in submission, they still sought to pull those around them down with them. As for the bounty from the Taichi Kingdom, Lin Shun paid it no mind. Tang is arguably the safest place in the world, particularly in Sichuan and the Zhong region. Not to mention firearms, even knives are rigorously checked. Unless one is a fool, who would truly dare to come at him unarmed? Even the Taichi Kingdom likely held little hope. That bounty was merely an attempt to irritate him. However, Lin Shun was surprised to find that the recent statement from the Taichi Kingdom had inadvertently drawn attention to him. People from all corners of the globe flocked to log into Tang's networks, entering his live stream. The viewership soared once again, surpassing 500 million. After walking for over half an hour, someone relayed news in the live stream. Everyone, hurry to watch the official live stream. The External Propaganda Department is holding a press conference to respond to the Taichi Kingdom's statement. As this comment appeared, countless viewers rushed out of Lin Shen's live stream to the official channel. Soon after, more messages began to circulate in the live stream. The External Propaganda Department stated that the Taichi Kingdom's accusations against Lin Shun are completely fabricated and baseless. What the heck? The spokesperson of the External Propaganda Department said Lin Shun is at the level of the State Secretary? Is that true? Wow. The External Propaganda Department has struck back, condemning the Taichi Kingdom for openly slandering our high-ranking officials, declaring it a very serious diplomatic incident. The Taichi Kingdom must provide solid evidence, or they will not rest. I'm freaking out. The External Propaganda Department actually said that our country has even more advanced anti-gravity aircraft and individual exoskeleton suits equipped with anti-gravity technology, which are already in the experimental stage and will be unveiled soon. Wait, Lin Shun, didn't you previously say that the anti-gravity technology was all fabricated? Are you now creating a persona as a researcher? What's going on? Forget about it upstairs. Old viewers are used to it. Any words from this dog streamer must be pondered carefully. Who knows which are true and which are false? The barrage rolled incessantly. Countless viewers were stunned by the External Propaganda Department's statements. The amount of information was overwhelming. Many seasoned viewers now had a singular thought. Well done, Lin Shun. Just tell us if you are a turtle. Clearly, you have so much to say, but choose to hide it. You truly can endure. Chapter 408. The man who elevates the live streaming sphere by his own efforts. Lin Shen's face revealed surprise. What does being at the level of State Secretary mean? After receiving that title, I remain unfazed by praise or criticism. I never intended to bring it up. Wow. This time, the External Propaganda Department has made another revelation. But are they moving so swiftly? Not only are they planning to develop an anti-gravity aircraft prototype, but they are also working on individual exoskeleton suits? Are they attempting to intimidate the Taichi Kingdom, or is this genuinely in progress? The latter is something Lin Shun had never considered possible. Is this the rhythm of creating Iron Man? Of course, Lin Shun had not focused on this after developing the anti-gravity soil. Upon reflection, due to the unique properties of the anti-gravity soil, there are indeed many potential applications, depending on the creativity of the researchers. From mobile phones and drones to high-speed trains and aircraft, the application value is immense. The flying exoskeleton is merely one of many possibilities. Once this news broke, the Taichi Kingdom would likely feel threatened once more. Looking back at the barrage, he saw that everyone began to voice their opinions. Lin Shun is truly a dragon among men. Previously, he said nothing about his academic titles and the Kung Fu group until the External Propaganda Department exposed it, allowing everyone to realize. I am utterly convinced, if it were anyone else, they would have been shouting about it everywhere. State Secretary level? Lin Shun is undoubtedly the youngest in the history of Tang. Lin Shun cannot deny it now. Without making significant contributions, they would never have awarded him such a high honor. Isn't that obvious? Being embraced by the likes of Song Shuai and Shi Jia without reaction. Lin Shun cannot be an ordinary person. Lin Shun's success is not coincidental. Enduring solitude leads to rewards. Has everyone forgotten this lesson? Lin Shun is incredible. To endure what ordinary people cannot, I find myself at my limit. Time and again, in moments of reflection, I have deleted all my study materials, only for the dev drive to turn red again within a month. What is there to endure? One must revel in life's triumphs. I have never held back. Whether I spend 300 or 3,000, it all vanishes in an instant. What's the fuss? My wife is equally resilient. After a quarrel, she left home for over 6 months and has yet to return. Lin Shun has elevated the entire streaming industry single-handedly, reaching a level akin to the highest officials. This is truly competitive. Undoubtedly, Lin Shun's streaming room will be the most prestigious in all of Tang Nation. Lin Shun couldn't help but chuckle, saying, "Keep it low-key. What does it matter if I hold an exalted title? Flaunting such matters will not hasten my progress. Fame and fortune are but fleeting clouds. One must focus on the path beneath their feet, advancing steadily to reap greater rewards. Titles and accolades are inconsequential. In the streaming room, I am merely a host. Feel free to support as you wish. No need for formality." Upon hearing this, countless viewers could not help but laugh, filled with admiration and reflection. Lin Shun's unflappable demeanor is not something the average person can achieve. What a profound statement about fame and fortune being mere illusions. I must say, though, it is easy for you to speak without feeling the weight. I concede. This has given me a deeper understanding of the book perspective. Look at Lin Shun's enlightenment. Has everyone comprehended life? Support is a must. Regardless of how much wealth Lin Shun possesses, I will gladly contribute, considering his contributions to Tang Nation. Forget it. From now on, I shall never support again. I will simply enjoy the streams for free. This matter was swiftly put aside, and Lin Shun chose not to elaborate further. Following the publicity from the External Communications Office, the pressure had returned to the Rainbow Nation. However, it seemed they had little recourse. Being in Tang Nation, any bounty or sanctions had negligible impact on him personally. The group continued their journey. Lin Shun felt a sudden impulse and took out his spare phone, accessing the Fongyin Celebrity Hall chat group while walking. It had been a while since he last checked, and to his surprise, the group had come back to life. It was bustling with activity. Upon scrolling through the messages, he discovered many were discussing him, primarily regarding the accusations from Mida Nation and Rainbow Nation, followed by subsequent twists in the narrative. To his dismay, the streamers in the group had become quite adept at cautious discourse. Even the staunchest critics had shifted their allegiance to him. As for the revelation of his prestigious title, the chat erupted with praises for Lin Shun from streamers both big and small. Among them were the sharpshooter fan Mao Mao and others who had previously stirred trouble in his streams. He recalled having cursed them for 2 minutes each previously, pondering what had transpired since. The thought of exacting further retribution flitted through his mind, but he dismissed it, opting instead for a broader perspective. As long as they ceased to bother him, that would suffice. Putting away his spare phone, Lin Shun couldn't help but feel a twinge of loneliness in a world where he saw no adversaries. Moments later, the group was walking along a long downhill stretch when Shui Er suddenly exclaimed. As Lin Shun turned, he caught sight of 2 swift figures whooshing past, accompanied by the sound of tires swiftly grinding against the ground. Mountain bikers. There were 7 or 8 more cyclists behind them, all maintaining the same high speed, each descending at a pace of at least 30 kilometers per hour. Among them were 4 young women, seemingly recent graduates. One was even drinking a Blue Bull while gripping her bike's handlebars. Lin Shun frowned slightly and immediately went to check on the situation with Li Xiao and Yi Xiaoxi. One cyclist after another sped by the group. A shaken Shui Er shook her head gently, saying, "It's nothing. They just rushed past and nearly collided with us." Yi Xiaoxi comforted her softly. Li Xiao glared at the already distant cycling group, exclaiming, "These people are so reckless. Riding so fast downhill is dangerous." Lin Shun chuckled lightly. They probably want to make up for lost time due to the rough terrain ahead. Indeed, with the annual popularity of the 318 travel route, various modes of travel have emerged, and mountain biking has become a favored choice for the young due to its low initial costs. Even many middle-aged individuals have joined in, some even towing small trailers with tents for their children or pets. Compared to motorcycle travelers, mountain bikers often lack protective gear. Many don't even wear helmets. Hence, when accidents occur, the consequences can be severe. Throughout their journey, Lin Shun and his companions had encountered numerous mountain bikers, individuals, couples, and groups. Uphill, they appeared weary and focused solely on pedaling, hardly taking time to appreciate the surrounding beauty. However, once on downhill stretches, many would let loose, much like the cyclists they had just seen. As the group continued walking, they soon approached a significant downhill turn. What unfolded before the live stream camera left all viewers in shock. The previously cycling group had gathered by the roadside. 2 mountain bikes lay abandoned, their front tires severely deformed. Some were shouting, others were crying, while others anxiously held their phones aloft, struggling to get a signal. The crowd made it difficult to discern the condition of the injured. The chat exploded with fervor. Oh no, something has truly happened. Although it may seem inappropriate, why does it feel somewhat gratifying? I have mentioned before, riding at such high speeds, even with a slight amount of sand on the road. A tire slip could lead to an accident. These are merely young people who truly do not cherish their lives.